This episode brought to you by forcing women to put their hair into sexy long braids and some weird desert bikini chained to your play bed that's out in the open. Forcing her to dance for your big, sweaty, slimy, tongue-slathering self. Whew. The good old days, huh? Whew.
May the 4th be with you. We're watching Star Wars Episode 6, Return of the Jedi, and you're listening to Miscast Commentary.
Whoa, no. What the fuck?
Oh, yeah. We're not doing Marvel anymore, baby. It's back to normal.
Oh, thank God.
You're listening to Miscast Commentary, where two guys have seen way too many movies and have way too much time on their hands.
I have come here to chew bubblegum and kick ass. And I'm all out of bubblegum.
Now here's your hosts, Joe Finley and Todd Murray.
Hey, everybody. Welcome to Miscast Commentary. May the 4th be with you. I'm Joe Findley.
Todd Tebow, the Sailor Murray.
And we are back for our first non-Marvel movie of 2019.
Wow.
What a time. We really hope you guys had a fun time with us going through all those movies, especially for that last chunk where we were kind of coming really fast and furious. It was like our own personal Infinity War was doing those last movies. It was
like we were trapped in the quantum realm or something. It's like we just barely made it with our lives. Damn it.
I know. And then we needed to get out of the familiar by doing a Star Wars movie, I guess. Is that what that means?
Never heard of that before.
Woohoo. It is May the 4th. There was no choice. It was funny because when we were talking about it, it's like, okay, well, we're going to be done. What are we going to do first? And I told Todd we didn't even get a choice. Like the first day is May the 4th. We have
May the 4th.
We got to do
ain't no choice. So what happens when May the 4th comes around and we watched all the movies? Do we start watching one of the cartoons or something?
We'll figure it out.
Like Knights of the Old Republic or that clone one?
Well, let's think about it like this. There's 9 regular movies at that point. You'll have episodes 1 through 9.
Yeah.
You'll have Solo. You'll have Rogue One.
Oh, yeah. Solo's awesome.
Statistically, we're both going to be dead by then.
Let's hope.
So
God can only.
So hopefully by the time we do the last Star Wars movie, we both pass away the next day.
Right, yeah, no, during.
And nobody knows how to stop
Suicide
the recording,
Pact.
so it's just
Suicide Pact. Yeah.
We have talked about suicide way too many times on this. Like we talk about suicide more than crisis prevention. It's just the way it is.
It's a cry for help.
I know.
That's how we deal with things.
But there's only one way to deal with May the 4th, and that is to play some Star Wars.
Pressing play.
I didn't even say the thing that we really say yet. We've got to press play.
No.
All right.
Boom. Perfectly done, everybody. I felt that. I felt the perfect click.
So the version we're watching is...
It looks a little crisp.
Well, it's also still the 20th Century Fox version. I still have the old one.
It looks nice.
No, it looks good. I'm just saying
it doesn't have any extra shit in it, does it?
It's got tons of extra.
Oh,
extra
God.
Shit. It's not like... You and I have seen the original of these movies, but it's been so long, I guarantee you couldn't remember what they were like. So like it's the we just blew Todd's ears off with the sound that we're playing in the background. Man. But the
episode 4. What is the Roman numeral?
See, 6.
6. Oh my God.
But also
that was terrible.
It's because Rocky didn't go to 6.
I know, like what the hell? I never been to Rome. Fuck, man.
I helped kill Jesus.
Who didn't? We all did. We all had
that
our
is
hand
true,
in that
actually.
one.
I read that part of the book. That's 100% true.
Let's go back when the movie's done, and we'll just cut me in saying 6.
Just
put in 6.
6.
Fuck, that's terrible.
It's all right.
It's actually, come on now. The order of them.
Yes.
Right, and then they're like, no, these ones are way down the line. These ones are the new ones with some fucking punk kid you never saw before.
There's so many excuses too when you like read all the
I got all the excuses in the world why I can't read numbers or speak. Barely. We missed all that stuff. You don't need to know anyways.
Are you not caught up with these stories? we not figured this out?
Oh, yeah.
Right?
They found out that
Star
Darth
Wars.
Vader, he took his mask off.
Stars.
He's actually their mother.
Yes. Yeah, this is the new trans-friendly.
Trans clones.
It's what's her face from Orange is the New Black.
I don't know who that is.
I can't remember her name.
There's Death Star number 12.
So apparently that they don't talk about it an awful lot, but this Death Star is apparently 450% the size of the original one. So it is a much bigger thing. Also was not supposed to be in the first movie. Basically their budget constraints and stuff like that made them go Death Star in the first movie because it was a cheaper thing to do.
Oh, because I find it kind of underwhelming when there's the Death Star again.
Yeah. And it's
How much fucking money do these guys have? Like, holy shit. You talk about Batman and these, like, Tony Stark's, like, holy fuck.
Well, somebody did the math and they were like, they figured out the amount of money it would actually cost, and it was so out of this world. They were like, Earth couldn't, like all of Earth, if they wanted to build the Death Star, they couldn't afford it.
Couldn't do it.
It was like, and we make up the money. But it's like, but then you think, oh, okay, well, this is an empire of like a galaxy and now all the planets and stuff like that. I'm like, I bet they can afford it if you're filtering all their money to
all
yourselves.
together.
Yeah.
So it's all the bad planets, all the bad fuckers, all. And there's got to be a couple intergalactic, interstellar, like quadrillionary, like some number we can't even speak, right?
Yeah. This makes me
It's like the
think,
guy that pays Thanos. Like Thanos goes to that fucking bank.
yes. Hell yeah. This makes me think so much about what that ride at Disney World is going to be like when you're like you're getting taken through the First Order hangar and stuff like that, and it will be this big as you're like going through it. And I'm just like, it's
I wonder if they're
Moff
gonna like
Jared.
tie your hands. They probably can't do that kind of thing, right? Like have
No,
your
no,
hands
no,
tied
no.
so you can.
Also, just it would just be.
People would freak.
Well, it would also just be too much of a thing.
My
Like,
son was tied up years ago. Don't you dare! Not
Yeah, exactly.
Done. Lawsuit.
he was just kidnapped. We brought him here to take his mind.
An
off.
alligator comes out of nowhere and grabs the same kid.
Son of a bitch. But anyways, the Moff Jared, who's on the right now it's Darth Vader's left. Alan Rickman auditioned to play that role.
Alan Rickman.
Yeah. Attention, all Death Star.
I would like to be a celebrity that gets into one of the new ones. My only to get me in this movie.
Yeah.
My cod piece. I want to be a Star Trooper. And my cod piece has to be bigger.
Yes. Just it's your all cod piece.
Yeah.
That would be fantastic.
Yeah. Exactly.
So a lot of directors fell through for this movie for one reason or another. Steven Spielberg was the first choice to direct this, but the whole Directors Guild thing that George Lucas got into meant he couldn't get him to direct it because Steven Spielberg's still part of the Directors Guild. So
he's like outside.
Yeah. So
whoa, he's a rebel.
He also offered the role to David Cronenberg and David Lynch.
Dear
Both
God.
of them turned it down for Cronenberg turned it down to do Videodrome and The Dead Zone. David Lynch actually turned it down. He's like, this is your thing. This is not my thing. But he ended up making Dune during that period of time anyways. Well, a little bit later.
It's kind of weird, right? He turns down doing Star Wars and then kind of does his own.
Yeah, he's like,
this isn't weird enough for him anyways.
Yeah,
He'd been all weird and sexual.
Yeah.
Well, no, only Cronenberg did it. Then you'd see some big cod pieces.
Oh.
If Cronenberg made that movie,
you would just see cod pieces in the corner while a bunch of dicks were out.
Naked Lunch. I can think. I can think of two things wrong with that title. That movie was fucked. Ever seen Naked Lunch?
Oh yeah.
Jesus.
Yeah. I see it every day because I videotape myself naked eating Kraft dinner.
Bugs.
Yeah. We say Kraft dinner up in Canada, not Kraft macaroni and cheese because we're fucking cool.
Yeah, if you said Kraft, they'd be like, what is he talking about?
I know.
What kind of crazy Canadian dish?
And they're like, isn't it lunch? And yes, it's lunch. I don't really have an answer for that question. But
Well, it's like the East Coast is called like dinner.
yeah, I
Like
guess
lunch is dinner or supper is lunch and dinner is supper. I'm like, what the fuck is this?
Where's 11?
Fuck out of here.
Spielberg, interestingly enough, when he had to turn him down, he suggested a very interesting director.
Wait, don't say it.
Who?
Francis Ford Coppola.
No.
Fuck.
That is a good guess.
Okay, let me guess one more.
One more.
What year is this?
This is
Brian De Palma.
83. No. Paul Verhoeven.
Damn.
He was still just doing foreign shit at this point.
That's weird. He was on his radar, though.
But he was
eh?
on his radar. He did Soldier of Orange in 1977, which was Spielberg's into him, but then he did the movie Spedders, which is apparently a very sexual, like, teenage movie. And then Spielberg was like, no, don't hire him. That's probably not the right guy to do Star Wars. So
Oh, here's this guy.
yeah, that's a Gamorrean.
Gamorrean.
Yeah, I know.
What was that spider dude in the background that walked by?
I think it was a droid. I don't know. I think it was a droid. I didn't.
He looked like he had these guys are fucking badass. I think I had one of these guys. I think
I did.
everybody had one of these
Yeah.
guys.
They were. This is
this guy.
Bib Fortuna,
Mida Baba Jawa.
who was played by. I have it here. Please stand by. Michael Carter. He was in American Werewolf in London. He was in the movie The Keep with Ian McKellen, a very young Ian McKellen, if you ever see it. But yeah, so much makeup on him. Complete, like, you couldn't you could not recognize even just his face for how much makeup he's got on. He's got so much like silicone over his face.
Look at all this beautiful prosthetic makeup, man.
Mm-hmm.
Last the test of time. He's pretty shiny there, C-3PO there.
Yeah, he's been, you know,
Oh, he's getting...
I assume he's been like sandblasted, right? So he had like any like buildup has all been knocked off of him.
It's probably like an end of the season kind of thing, right?
Yeah, you think
It's a
so.
good fucking, like when they bring the Tin Man in.
With the Tin Man. Maybe they just had
They
a recent
sing
oil
and
bath.
it's like a sexy car wash.
So right off the bat, one of the original changes they made was this was originally called Revenge of the Jedi.
This is what you need for your house, the life-size Jabba. The whole room. So we could go in there and like hang out in the
it would be
animatronic.
amazing.
Maybe they'll sing a song for your birthday. It's Joe's birthday.
That would I would set up.
You're like, "Ah, fuck's
Yeah, he's
sakes."
broken again. Jabba was a huge undertaking. It's 6 puppeteers running him. It is he weighs 2,000 pounds.
Woo!
It took 10 people to make him.
Wow.
It's like he was, like I said, he was a gigantic undertaking. He cost like $500,000 to build.
That ain't shit all now.
Well, but I mean, the whole budget was $32.5 million. So that's like, you know.
You got Jabba is one of the characters that you have to make impressive.
Yeah.
He looks killer still to this day. He looks fucking awesome.
It really holds up. So a big thing, and I always got this on a subconscious level, but just as I was reading and doing research and stuff like that, it was just put out a little bit more. A big effort was made to make sure that Luke Skywalker seemed more neutral, like he could potentially be turned to the dark side and stuff like that. And you'll see, I'm going to point them out as they happen during this. There's a lot of ways that you'll see that, but one of the first ways you see he's actually wearing black right now. Like, he's always been wearing white. He's been very
Well,
pure.
are we supposed to be thinking, like, ooh, could he be going bad?
Well, that was...
Oh, that shit with his dad that went down?
Mm-hmm. And if you listen, we'll talk about it more towards the end, maybe during the credits and stuff, of kind of what became of him in the extended Legends kind of stuff. That's obviously not part of canon anymore, but we'll discuss kind of what happened to him and stuff in future, what could have potentially been future movies, or like that. There's some really interesting things, actually. One specific change I knew about but didn't know all the details until I was doing this.
There he is.
As we talked about last year with this was Harrison Ford's way of trying to get out of being in these movies. He asked to be killed off, not to not be in the movies, but he felt like Han Solo needed to sacrifice himself for his friends.
Right.
So this was the
This
compromise,
was there, right?
because they could have just left him there, like, or just like he's been captured and that's the end of it, or they could have said he died in this thing, or anything they wanted to if they decided to kill him off.
Right.
But they had a way to rescue him if he wasn't, right? So it was a very...
What, he changed his mind or something? Or they were just like...
I think they managed to convince him to come back.
I mean, my God, you're fucking Han Solo, for fuck's sake.
I know, but he was also Indiana Jones. He didn't need to be anything.
I know, but still, it's not up to you anymore. But, oh, no.
Yeah.
Wait,
dude, they can't hear it, so there's nothing for us to do. I know.
That poor bastard. Look at his poor feet.
See,
This is just like a robot torturing center. That's all they do.
Yeah, I know. A lot of these designs, too, are actually early Ralph McQuarrie designs for some other droids, including C-3PO. The one that's actually being ripped apart is one. There's actually one that was junked in the corner that was, I think, the Ralph McQuarrie drawing of C-3PO. You can actually see like ribs on him and shit. It's terrifying.
Look at that. There's not one human character in this scene. Great, eh? Is that killer?
I know. The other thing that I found really interesting was the amount of fighting and stuff, like backfighting, and that was going on during this movie, because Richard Marquand, which we didn't really actually get to after all the other directors were offered, he got the job. Didn't do a whole, not really.
He directed this one?
He directed this one, Richard Marquand, and he directed Jagged Edge and Hearts of Fire. He wrote Nowhere to Run, the JCVD movie.
Oh, fuck yeah.
So,
good boobs in that one.
Yeah, the Rosanna Arquette boobs.
Yeah.
And he famously didn't get along with any of the main cast, except he loved Harrison Ford, but he was shitting on Mark Hamill and Carrie Fisher like crazy. So yeah, it was a hard thing to deal with. I feel bad for that fat girl because her rolls had to be used as breasts. You can see it's a triple bikini.
Yeah.
So that's
she
what
does not have rolls. She has multiple boobs. Oh, that's added.
This is added.
And
Come
on now.
Of all the things they added, this is the one I hate the most.
In the hell?
Of all the movies. Something that's
my
really
God.
interesting is the Twi'lek girl who was dancing.
I'm pretty positive you could see that blue girl's vagina.
Yeah. There's a couple of nip slips during this, apparently.
This one here coming up.
Yeah, the CG,
the CG nip
girl.
slip.
Yeah, well, she's not wearing a shirt, so I guess she just doesn't have the nips.
Somebody slaps a nip onto her, then boom, nip slip.
Yeah, I hated this scene so fucking much. But the girl who falls down, apparently her boob falls out as she's falling down. It's like a freeze frame kind of thing, though, that you got to find it. I don't even know if it made it this far.
Did they have to put this in? Like, what is...
I don't know.
What was happening here before?
It was just...
They were just rocking out.
Just a short version of this. I think they just wanted this to be a button on something.
Oh,
so
right there, I think.
Yeah.
Titties all over this movie.
Yeah, this one's dirty. This is a dirty ass movie.
This is when they realized that like we can handle it.
Mm-hmm.
Like we're not.
Well,
like,
it wasn't on
like
purpose.
a bunch of little snowflakes. It's all on purpose. George Lucas is a fucking pervert.
Yeah, but you
You
can
heard
see
he's
she's all
calling
silent.
Verhoeven all the time, talking about all the titties.
Yeah.
He's Verhoeven's like, call me tonight, Lucas, and tell me about the alien titties. He's like, stop calling me.
It's a weird conference call.
Yeah,
that's always going on.
Put the titties on the call. What? Those look really good, actually.
Yeah, I know.
He looks like he's eating his own babies.
That's the tongue sound was Ben Burt, the audio designer, just running his hands through like a baked cheese casserole.
That was a cheese
I know,
casserole.
right? I'm sure they still ate it because you know how it goes.
You have to. It's like the humane thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
You don't want the Casserole Association of Hollywood on your fucking ass. Oh, here we go.
Love it.
Yacho.
Yeah. Yato. Yate.
I love the voice here, eh?
I know. It's really cool. And again, sound design owns these movies. Man, like everything that they do. Like the laser sounds and like everything is so goddamn iconic.
That is true, actually.
Mm-hmm.
The light. Oh, that is a big old real frog in there.
Mm-hmm.
Look at it moving around.
Yeah, they murder it later though, just to make sure.
Oh, good.
But anyways, the slave girl dancer who got knocked down into the Rancor pit there, that was actually, some of that was new footage. When they were extending it, they needed to have more shots of the slave girl, and they just didn't have them.
Right.
So they were going to try and find a way to either digitize something from her from like the background and put it in the foreground or whatever. And somebody from ILM happened to know her and says, she looks as good as she ever did. And like, this is like in whenever they did, like 97 is when they did the first extended version.
Oh, like when they found her.
And they found her.
Makeup and all.
Just
sitting somewhere.
Yep, 17 years later, and she looked great. So they just threw the makeup back on her and they shot a couple more shots. So there are new shots.
Oh.
Well, new shots for the time anyways. And mixed with the old shots, mixed with the digital guys and stuff like that. So it was pretty interesting.
So you can film a nuclear detonator.
See, it's interesting because like of the things that George Lucas added, a lot of them I have no problem with. Some of them I feel were necessary. Like some of them are just like, you get a little bit longer trip through the city to help establish the city. Okay,
Right.
cool. Or we just added a little bit more digitally in the background just so the thing was a little bit busier. Okay, that's cool. Like it's like because it looks like
Is
the
that-
city's empty or something like that.
Is that our? Well, it just gives you more like
Yeah.
atmosphere and all
And-
that. Well, it was
and-
like the Lord of the Rings extended editions, which I think do it a lot better
Yes.
than this.
Well,
It's
yeah.
like 25 years later, Lucas is like, I don't think the nerds have purchased enough copies of the trilogy, so I'm going to add a couple scenes so they'll fucking buy it again.
Oh hell yeah.
I disagree with you. I do not believe any of the scenes they added were required or necessary. Is this the first time we saw Boba Fett?
No, he was in Empire Strikes Back and the holiday special.
Happy Life Day, everybody!
Woohoo!
It's always
Hey,
Happy Life Day when
Billy D. Williams.
Yeah, when friggin' Billy D's on this. You know he's
Going
got
under.
Colt 45 on his breath.
Hell yeah. He's going undercover as Tam Tell, the bounty hunter. Yeah, I know the
Tam
names,
Tell. That's fucking
motherfucker.
awesome. So is
Also-
he Tam Tell with the mask up?
Yeah. Tam Tell, Lando. Tam Tell,
Ah,
Lando.
Two sons.
See, and like even just like they just add like that little thing.
That's-
That one's not necessary.
They did not add that.
but- What?
That was always in there, wasn't it?
No, it was CG, so it definitely wasn't in the 1983
Was it?
version.
I'm
yeah.
sure they did show something out there that happens. See that? Okay, I'll take back what I said.
Okay.
That scene was neat. I like that. That
Okay.
adds a little bit up.
But so that's the thing. If we went through all of them, when you actually look, they have a YouTube thing where you can actually see all the things they added and stuff. And some of them you're like, why did they changed a character to a different character?
Right.
Or something like that, or the Han shot first and Greedo shot first thing, and you're like, what the fuck? But then there's ones where it's like they just expanded something out and made it more. They made it look more real, or they made it look more because like some of them, just because of budget problems, you see him like take his speeder into town and there's nothing there, but it's supposed to be a busy marketplace.
Right.
So they put in shit to make it look like a busy marketplace, and I'm like, oh, okay, see, that's a good idea. But then other ones are like adding no.
Yeah, but I mean,
that
it's not
makes me
like we
wanna fucking kill
walked
myself.
out of the movie going like, I didn't get what was this?
No.
They said it was a marketplace. I didn't see it. You know what I mean?
No.
The effect was there.
No, but it was just if they were doing, because they're always remastering, they got to remaster them anyways and
Too much
stuff
time
like
on
that.
your hands there, Lucas.
Yeah.
Too much
so,
time.
So at that point, it's like, well, hey, might as well do a couple things, because like directors, every director always has that shit where they're like, man, if only I could have done this. Well, he's a guy who actually can.
Do you think that he secretly enjoyed when people did not say that they liked The Last Jedi?
Of
Do you think
course
he
he did.
secretly was like, I told you, only I can run this universe?
Of course he did, and then of course everybody was, and then they found out, oh, nobody really didn't like the last.
When he came out of there, he should have been either in the wrong gear that he went in with, or his Indiana Jones gear.
That would have been funny.
There you go. I need to get this mask just so I can have this voice.
Yes, it is great.
Yeah, they talked him into coming back.
He was good. He did some pretty good acting in this one too. Like that's like it. It's not he's playing it up a bit, but it's also at the same time kind of subtle. Like
What do you
coming
mean
out of
playing
a
it up? You have no idea what it's like to be encased in carbonite.
No, I know, but it's
and
just
then
I don't know. There's just a lot of movement.
carbonite being the physical form of Pop Fizz,
I know exactly what that feels
frozen
like.
in time in Pop Fizz.
I know specifically what that feels like.
Dunk me.
Oh, the
yeah, that one
sexiest Carrie
summer
Fisher's ever looked.
Or we had that. What do you call it when you knock the person into the pool of water? Had Crystal Pepsi.
Oh God.
Because you have to be able to see through it.
Yeah, that is true. You open your eyes under that shit, and you're not gonna have a real. You're gonna have a real.
You
problem.
think you got chlorine burn before? They're all laughing. It was a show. It was the midnight showing.
They all knew this shit.
Yeah,
was
they're
going
like,
on.
hey,
See, that's
go
what I
watch her
like
try and break
too.
him out.
Like Jabba is a huge.
That guy looks so cool.
Smart
Look at that
dude.
guy.
Oh, look in the background. It reminds me of It reminds me of some of those scenes in Labyrinth where you've just got all the guys like all in one spot. You can look at any different spot and see a million different things.
It reminds me of being in South Thorold.
I love
You
me
should
some
see the
Salacious
Motley
Crumb.
Cruise.
Some of them though.
What's that dude's name?
Which one? The blue guy?
Yeah, the big blue thing.
Max Rebo.
That's Max Rebo?
Yeah. He's the Max Rebo band. He's the leader of that band.
No, sorry. I know Max Rebo. I'm talking. Show the shot again, for fuck's sakes. He had not the little. Look at Camel Joe's up there.
Yeah. They made action figures out of every fucking one of these guys.
Somebody
too.
hook up Jabba with a fucking Kleenex, for fuck's sakes.
I know, right?
Jesus.
The actually that camel one that you were
Oh.
talking about is one of the most valuable Star Wars
It
action
is?
figures because they made there's so few of them left now. So it's not even like it's a rarity thing. It's like they made a bunch of them, but now there's like none of them. And I think that some of them were wrong. I don't
Fuck,
know.
I wish we could go back so I could show you after.
Yeah, that's fine.
It wasn't Max Rebo, it was some other dude.
Well, if it wasn't
Oh,
Max Rebo,
here's
I didn't know
there.
the name of the one who wasn't Max Rebo.
Okay.
So that
You
doesn't
lost
It's
it,
kind
bro.
of
You're off for game today.
It's kind of funny because this was a little bit of a play on what happened in Solo when he's in jail,
Right.
and then except Chewbacca's clean in this one. He's just a little shaggy. It wasn't me. See, shaggy. You see what I did? Hello.
The crazy kid, Luke, he can't even ski, little on. Save us from a thing.
just-
The fucking... Oh my god, these pensions behind.
He's just
Friends.
confused.
Don't you think they would have killed him? I'm glad they didn't.
Well, they're going
But-
to kill him. They're just going to
They're
kill him.
waiting.
Yeah. Well, at this point, he's like, they have all the power, right? His job is just like, oh, I'll just do this for my entertainment now.
Are they gonna
'Cause it's
have?
not like a Jedi's coming, right?
Are they gonna have like that bar? Man, I can't go to Disneyland. I'll never want to leave.
That's the problem. So another bit of the little ambiguity here. The only time you ever see a Jedi force choke
He's
somebody.
in Rem.
What's that?
He's
yeah,
Remen.
I know. But did you hear what I just said? Is the old? Oh, see, they added
Look at
that
this
too.
guy.
That's a guy from episode 1.
Fuck that guy.
I know. But I don't know. It's the same species. I don't know that it's Sebulba, but
Holy God.
they say his name. It's
Yeah,
different
who,
though.
when somewhere, okay, they're probably like, okay, back in this one book that they wrote about Star Wars, one character whispered this guy's name and you know it.
No, in episode 1, there's like a 10-second period where they say his name like 10 times. They're like Sebulba's going to win. Why do you say that? Sebulba always wins.
Sebulba?
Yeah, and it's just like Sebulba.
That's in the recut too.
And then all the
Should we have had more Sebulbas?
and then in the background, instead of peas and carrots, all the extras are going Sebulba.
exactly.
So-
Piece of
But anyways, though, so you get to see Luke Skywalker actually force choke people, which if you watch all the other Star Wars movies and you watch anything extended, you never see a Jedi force choke anybody. You only see the bad guys do it.
What do you mean by a force choke?
Like,
choke. Using the force to
Yes.
choke someone.
Yes.
I thought you were just like, most choking is forced. What's the
Yes.
fucking like, why would you say force choke? Like, well, I guess not all of it. Like, choke me, baby. Yeah.
well, there's still
Choke me out.
it still requires the application of force.
Right.
So a huge thing, and this kind of tells you where George Lucas was. I really think he was just finished with Star Wars at the time, because he wasn't even aware that Boba Fett was a popular character at this point.
Really?
And that's why his death, which is coming up, is so lame.
It is very lame. I
It's
was
very-
waiting for it to happen, but you brought it up first.
It
Is not befitting his character.
and specifically why is it didn't even really occur to him that anybody even gave a shit about him. They were like, I'm just gonna get rid of him.
Well, no,
He's
we
just
only
gonna
give
be
a shit about him afterwards, because then other things are written about him, and then that's the lore of what made Boba Fett cool happened after.
Well, but Empire made him pretty cool.
What
too.
did he
Like,
do in Empire?
He's the only one who's like talking like really talking at Darth Vader. Like, he's telling him he's no good to be
that's
dead.
right.
And,
Yeah,
stuff
yeah,
like that.
that's right.
Nobody's gonna talk to him like that. So and he helps capture
Fuck.
Han Solo and stuff like that.
That poor bastard.
I know. So
He's
the
like,
Rancor.
boss, what the fuck can I'm on my break here, what?
I showed you my Rancor in I bought this guy. I
Yeah.
have the big figure, eh?
You still have it, right?
I still have it, yeah. But
Look at this
I also
guy.
I encourage anybody, I've mentioned it before on the show, but I encourage anybody to go and find hashtag a Rancor's Journey in Instagram. It's when I bought my friend of mine, I got it for him because they were somebody was selling it like on eBay in Niagara Falls or something, and I picked it up for him, and I had it for the whole weekend just to myself. So I kept taking pictures of him.
Right?
So I had a picture of him watching this movie and playing the keyboards.
Oh,
and
there
doing all
goes
these-
that guy.
Yeah, and doing all these different things. And it was just my thing. So check that out on Instagram. You go hashtag a Ranker's Journey. I'll try and repost it as well, so it'll be newer in the Miscast Commentary timeline and stuff like that. But it's in my timeline at JK Finley
Did I have the Jabba the Hutt on the thing, or did you?
I didn't.
I must have had it. Yeah, it came with the grading thing there too.
Yes.
For them to look down.
I almost bought it. It was on eBay for and it was like $60. So I put it on, and then all of a sudden it shot up to like $180. I'm like, yeah, I'm not buying that.
Do you still have your Millennium Falcon?
No.
Because I got one. I think it's the same one. My buddy's selling it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Find out how much.
I'll ask him.
Yeah.
I thought he said everybody got everything, but then I saw today or something on Facebook there that he had it up there still. So I'll ask him.
Yeah, I will. Because I've been trying to get it. I found a couple, but they were missing pieces.
Did you see the junk on that Rancor?
Yeah.
Woo!
Just
they blocked the whole door back there.
They don't have tails, baby.
Holy fuck!
It's a really cool design on a creature. What's great is the growl, the rumbling.
Like he hides under there and then runs.
Yeah.
Stick and move, I guess, huh?
I guess. Yeah, you would think he doesn't need his lightsaber, or he shouldn't need his lightsaber. He should be able to use the Force, right? But these
guys have seen it so many times. They're like, whatever.
Yeah, it's people are constantly getting out. So he's like, nope, not this time. But I really like the design of the Rancor. The sound, though, the rumbling growl that he does, not this loud one, but that is a friggin' wiener dog. It's a dachshund that they just captured and I think probably just synthesized.
He's the only one who thought about this crazy shit.
Yeah, right?
Jesus, Luke, you guys just doing his job.
Right?
Fuck, man.
I don't think he even gets paid.
The guy's like, what?
So this is more like Mandingo fighting if you really want to break it down, and that's sadder.
Oh, he's got like a bat nose.
Yeah.
He kind of looks like a bat face. Look at Buddy sticking his head. Okay.
He's my absolute, he is so a Muppet. There's no questioning.
Oh. Is that Donald Pleasance?
He's got a little bit of that, doesn't he?
Oh, there's a lot of heartbreak in this one, man. Look at somebody at some point has slashed Jabba's tail.
Yeah.
Did you see right where Leia is? Mm-hmm. She is looking pretty good. Tell them that story that you told me.
Oh, yeah. It just occurred to me that I didn't say that while we were on the air.
He's distraught. He really did care for this fucking thing. Yeah. Maybe he raised it and they grow super huge fast. And
they're probably
just
baby.
Buddies.
Yeah, probably.
They need a backstory.
Yeah. Oh, I'm sure they do. There's probably a comic or something like that. Oh, there's another one of the protocol droids that we saw ripped apart, but that's one
almost
put
looks
together.
like he's a little bit of a. Okay. Anyways, tell you here she says.
Okay. So yeah. Anyways, I always thought, and it seemed reasonable to think that poor Carrie Fisher was forced into wearing that bikini and all that stuff in this, but she had complained herself that all the outfits she'd been given hadn't been very feminine or form-fitting or something like that, and then this was the result. I don't know how much input she had as to the design per se, but what she was wearing is essentially her idea.
Look at this guy over his shoulder. I never noticed this guy before.
He looks like he's
some snake thing.
He looks like he's like a candy. He looks like the Ace of Cakes made him, and that's sponge sugar.
Oh no, he's moving around.
Oh, okay.
I thought maybe that's what he's like, and when you touch his tongue because he doesn't move, then he pulls you in.
Hey now. Jabba.
Oh yeah. Keep her closer, Jobs.
Interesting fact: Jabba the Hutt is voiced not in this. Oh, see, again, they added all these banthas. That was just another.
That's kind of neat. I think that's kind of a neat job.
Yeah. See, that's what I'm saying. Those ones make things interesting. It's when you do things that essentially change the story, those become problematic. It's just adding pieces of dialogue or whatever.
This is what your Marvel comic movies are going to look like soon. See that shot? That actually didn't look that bad.
No, it was
to be honest with you. There goes Michael Jackson's The Thriller. He's got his travel keyboard thing there, whatever the fuck. Those look like the bones that they played in the Goonies.
Yeah. So this was filmed in Yuma, Arizona. Obviously, the extended sand dunes and stuff weren't, but they shot a lot in here, and I guess they had a big problem with dune buggies and stuff like that.
Right, flying around.
People they would get too close to set and see what was going on type thing. So they were being told that it was a horror movie called Blue Harvest.
Right.
So they just kept telling people, they're like, yeah, no, it's this horror movie, Blue Harvest. A few set photos came about, but it's not like social media today. It's not like everybody were able to catch it.
Jabba the Hutt loves Diet Coke. Did you see that?
Yeah, he does. He also likes Mountain Dew.
Did you see how much did you say this movie cost?
$32.5 million, but now convert that. That's probably $130 million today.
Wow.
right?
Well,
So-
still, like even for
Oh, yeah.
130 minutes, every shot on this ship, there's
Yeah.
some crazy shit going on in the
There's-
background. Everybody's got. There'll be one human dude looking all crazy. They added the middle.
They added the middle
Looks
part
like
and
fucking
the tentacles too.
Super Mario's gonna jump out of this fucking guy.
It does. I never cared for that thing because it didn't make sense.
You know what? It honestly, it looks like one of the Tremors from like Tremors 3 or 4 when they're like running around
I was good. Yes,
because they spit them out and
was
they're
two.
like, yeah,
yeah,
that's what they look just like. Fucking.
It does. But to me, like the
They
fact
did
that
not
it was,
need to do that either.
I would have added some of the tentacles. I think the tentacles would have been okay to like pull. Like I
Because
know
one
they,
of them does grab Buddy.
Well, and
somebody grabs somebody.
Yeah. Well, they do like it always had tentacles, but it was like one just kind of reached out and grabbed him. So to have a few kind of animated and reaching is kind of cool. But for that little mouth, it's totally pointless because what's the point of all the spikes around it? It basically means that that's a trap for it,
Right.
right? So
Yeah.
I don't know. I just never cared for that.
So this movie only cost $32 million.
Yeah. But again, it's not like
I think I had the guy with the eyeballs.
like at this time it was probably one of the most expensive movies ever made.
That is hilarious.
So that's it's all
Those
about
dudes have their heads shrunk and then put back to the normal
I
size.
know. They all
Looks like a fucking testicle with eyes.
yeah, exactly. I was gonna say they very much look like they would be like a Men in Black alien or something like that.
Yes.
He's a scrotumian.
That would be a pretty sexy outfit for your lady to wear, eh?
There was an extended shot if you have the Blu-ray and stuff like that. They have the extended scenes, and there's a scene that I really like where it's him in Obi-Wan's old cave, where he takes him after he gets attacked by the Sand People, and it's him constructing the lightsaber that he's now holding. And it's him with the droids, so you actually see that. But I think that they didn't want to do that because then you kind of find out more of the plan ahead of time as opposed to kind of putting it together at this point, really.
Oh, shit.
Which I kind of get, but I was just... I thought it was,
here comes the death. Oh my god, well, he did Rocketeer's legs off right there, for fuck's sakes.
Yeah, no, rockets don't burn.
Maybe
you in
he
this
has
version.
special pants.
Yeah.
Space pants.
Well, he's wearing Mandalorian armor, which a lightsaber theoretically isn't supposed to be able to cut.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, I did not know that, actually.
Yeah, there you go. So
Well, what the fuck is it made of? Vibranium?
Mandalorian steel.
Mandalorio.
Yeah. So we might hear more about this in the Mandalorian. But if you listen to some of the radio plays and stuff like that, you'll hear about Jedis being like trapped in Mandalorian steel and stuff like that. It's because they can't break it. So yeah,
Not even with their Jedi. And that
there's his
stupid
death.
scream, like...
I know. And it didn't
What
even,
is he, Jar Jar Binks? Like, the fuck is
Yeah.
this?
we
And
shoulda
that
had Jar
sucks
Jar
even
Binks.
worse. If they would have kept it the other way,
Yeah.
you could have a shot of, the Mandalorian should start with, even if it's going to go back, I still want the shot where he flies up out of that thing.
He's not Boba
Like, they
Fett.
leave.
Boba Fett's not in the movie. Or not in the
Oh, it's
Mandalorian.
like a
not-
different...
It's just another Mandalorian. It's just a different...
right.
That is,
It's not Boba Fett. Yeah.
That is their armor,
I forgot that.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that is their armor, so that's just
Look
like
at
what they all, that's what they
Leia
all
gets a
look like.
big point kill. She kills Jabba the Hutt.
This is...
Like, whoa.
Yeah, this was supposed to be a Godfather kind of homage.
I love that sound.
Yeah.
This death gurgle.
That is gross. In the radio plays, if you listen to the radio plays of specifically Return of the Jedi, Ed Asner is the voice of Jabba the Hutt.
No way.
Yeah. Great. They really had a good cast in those ones. I mean, you don't always get the major people, but you get...
So what, as long as the voice is right?
Right. Well, exactly. But in this one, Billy D. Williams and Anthony Daniels were the only original cast members who were in it.
Right.
Mark Hamill was in the first two. Billy D. Williams was in episode 5 as well. But some of the other voices, like there are people, I know that scream always makes me laugh. But the, like who else they have? Like I mentioned before, what's his face? Why am I not thinking of his name? Third Rock from the Sun.
John Lithgow.
John Lithgow is the voice of Yoda.
Yeah, I just took it because you said third. I was like, John Lithgow.
Yeah. Well, I just couldn't think of his name. And
He
he's
was
in,
the
like,
voice
Pet
of
Sematary.
Yoda. That man can do everything.
I know.
Does that come out this Friday?
What, Pet Sematary?
Yeah.
I don't know, to be honest with
I
you.
was going to be like, oh, go see it. I don't have any money. I'll have to wait till the Tuesday show when I get my check.
Yeah, there
The
you go.
man.
So that was-
The man pays my bills.
That scene right there where Salacious Crumb was on top of Anthony Daniels, he was legitimately having a panic attack because he couldn't move and something was in his face and he couldn't see. So where you hear his voice, it's all ADR stuff. What he's actually saying there's get me up, get me up, get me up, get me up, because he was actually freaking out.
Crumb was the Joe
The
Cool
little-
Camel Joe?
No, Salacious Crumb is the little guy who was like,
Oh, there's a dude in there?
no, Anthony Daniels is C-3PO. C-3PO was having the freak
Oh,
out. Yeah.
I thought the puppet was freaking.
No.
Puppets
no.
have anxiety too, bro.
They do, but but it's just their hand freaks out, and you can manage.
Does he
that.
know that that's his sister?
Not yet.
He doesn't.
Not yet. And I have some interesting news on that.
You know,
too.
when he was standing there staring at her, he was like, "Nice job, Jabba."
Yeah. Well, I'm sure he's read the script, so Mark knows. Luke doesn't know. It's very convenient that they have these.
No shit. So C-3PO had a little attack there, eh? I probably would too. Jesus, like you're trapped in like a fucking building that collapsed on you.
Mm-hmm. So
That's how Iron Man feels. He's like the first Iron Man.
Mm-hmm. Essentially.
Fuck it. Well, he's probably not made of iron, but you know what I'm saying.
He's made of Mandalorian steel. No. Mandalorian steel man.
Do the Mandalorians only use the Mandalorian steel, or is this like a high sought after? You'd think it would be fucking everybody would want it.
You would think so. I think that I think the thing, because Mandalorians, if you go into all the lore and stuff, are a war tribe themselves, right? Like they are warriors, so they are keeping their own shit, so nobody else can have what they have, essentially, right?
Right.
You'll see if you play like Knights of the Old Republic and stuff like that, you'll meet more Mandalorians, and they have slightly different armor, but it's like 1,000-year-old version of the same shit, you know, where it's like evolved and now has rocket packs and shit and stuff that could choke a kid, so you can't make that.
Do I get Disney Plus, man? Fuck. I don't know, man.
I'm getting it. It's cheaper. It's gonna be cheaper than Netflix.
It is?
Yeah, they've
Netflix has slowly been running away from me here. There, Netflix.
So what I've read,
better rein it in.
Yeah, the most recent thing that I read, it's going to come in at a cheaper price point than Netflix. It's going to start with 7,000 episodes of TV and 500 movies.
Dear God.
Including all Disney movies. There's no vault anymore.
No way.
So you can get, they're saying like maybe Song of the South, you won't be able to get the old zippity doo dah, like racist nonsense. That probably won't be there. But
that should be the nighttime folder.
But you'll be able to get everything. The nighttime folder.
You know, it only unlocks at midnight.
You can only be racist at night.
Exactly.
So, let's talk about somebody who...
I never liked the gray on there. Sorry for cutting you off. I never liked the gray. Should have been all black.
What should have been black?
Like the gray stripes on his thing and his little gray nose there. Like it's like almost white or something.
Who?
Darth Vader.
I think you're just getting light. It is all black.
No, look, it's gray.
No, like
his nose piece is
yeah,
white.
it
And
is.
then when you watch when they do a long shot
it's
here.
like chrome.
There's like gray. Anyways,
Yeah.
right.
Well, yeah, it's I think just because
Style,
texture.
he likes it.
Yeah. Well, I think it's also a texture thing for filmmaking. Like it's hard if it's all black, it's hard to show any texture.
Right.
Because it'll show up kind of flat. But let's talk about Ian McDiarmid, who's playing the Emperor right now. He is one guy who helped, like he was one of the real high points of the prequels.
Yeah, I agree.
He was fantastic. He replaced the man who was the Emperor in the second one in Empire Strikes Back originally. When they re-released them, they replaced the original guy with Ian McDiarmid as in the hologram. You know, the thing where they come out of the asteroid storm and then like I was gonna say Hulk for some reason. I almost like we've been watching too many Marvel movies. But like Vader kneels down and then that big hologram of him comes up and he's like, we have a new enemy and all that. Originally it was somebody else. And then they ended up hiring Ian McDiarmid, which actually, that was Richard Marquand's call. And George Lucas did not want him.
Right.
And then this is what ends up. And like, so again, more decisions, like when you really go into it, more decisions than not, even during this, that George Lucas made would have fucked things up so bad because he changed, like he wanted
George
something
Lucas
to happen.
doesn't know what the fuck he's doing, man. George
It's-
Lucas didn't make these fucking movies. Other people did.
Yeah.
George Lucas created a world for people to play in on. I was so happy when he stepped away because their other ones are garbage.
Yeah. Well, it's just like, yeah, the more power he had, the worse the movie was.
He's like Vince McMahon. He's absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah.
And then you think you know better than all these, but then you need fresh eyes on it. You need people to come to you and be like, no, that's dumb. Mm-hmm. Like, no, don't, somebody, he should have had a power structure in place where a committee would have been like, no Jar Jar.
Yeah.
Like, get rid of this fucking guy.
The idea of Jar Jar.
It was for money.
It was for money. It was for the kids specifically. They wanted a character that would specifically cater to the kids. But the problem is, that you're now serving two different groups of people.
Well, no, but they serve them both groups properly here.
Yes.
But the thing is that they didn't set out to make any character anything that
They
weren't like, let's write a kid-friendly, funny, goofy character. They wrote a character.
That's fair.
And then kids were like, I like this guy, or I like this guy.
That's fair, but the one point I will disagree with, there weren't two groups here. The two groups you were catering to for the prequels are the people who grew up on these ones,
Right.
and the people who've never seen Star Wars
And the
before.
new ones.
And the new people. Whereas this one, it's all new people, and adults thought this shit was bullshit for the most part when it came out. This is these were kids.
We like him
movies.
because we grew up watching it, right?
Exactly.
The adults were like, oh, Jesus.
Like, there were adults who liked it, don't get me wrong, but it was, these movies still made a lot of money.
Oh, I forgot that he was already there and did his training. Why is he coming back? He forgot something? Forgot my pen.
Yeah.
Yoda, you're not doing so good.
Hey, man.
Can I use that blanket, Yoda?
I thought I had. There we go.
How old is Yoda? 400.
No, he's like 900.
Your father.
He says exactly how old he is. I just can't remember.
Oh, he's like,
So,
fuck.
do you know why this scene was made? I found this very interesting. They were never going to have Yoda in this movie. Like, he would have just left him, and that would have been the end of it. The reason they brought him back specifically was George Lucas spoke to a child psychologist who basically told him, if somebody that the kids trust doesn't tell him that Vader is his father, nobody will ever believe you. And I was like, kids are designed to not believe not believe the bad guy. So if the bad
That's
guy
not
is
a bad piece of advice, actually.
So if the
just like I said, George Lucas didn't make these fucking movies.
Exactly. So basically, had they left that alone, the kids who watch this movie would still, by the end of this movie, would be like, even after everything happened, they'd be like, I can't believe Luke bought that he was his father.
That should be a skit that we should do. How George Lucas, and when he'll be like, I don't know, what do you think about this? And the guy behind the desk at Burger King's like, I'd make him his dad. That's great. And then it would show him the next time he's at the ice cream parlor, and the kid behind the counter's like, should be a puppet. Oh, great.
For sure.
And George Lucas is worse than Peter fucking Jackson. That guy didn't make a movie.
He made
He made the other one.
Those other ones.
He made the ones before Lord of the Rings, but I heard that he just pretty well. I don't even care what happened. I don't care who directed or who took credit. They're brilliant.
Yeah.
There's green people in those movies, like this movie.
Well, I think the difference between Peter Jackson and George Lucas is George Lucas fought with a lot of people.
Yeah.
And didn't always get his way, and these movies got made. Peter Jackson just had to make himself one of many.
Yes.
Where he's like, I'm doing this, and he's like, I'm writing it, but so are other people. And sometimes I'm not writing it with them because I'm too busy doing this thing, and then they're writing this, and then another person's writing this, and then I have somebody off here directing this, and I have somebody off here directing this, because it was too ambitious a project for him to take it on himself.
Yeah, right.
If they would have split up the movies and shot the movies all separately, it would have been a different story. But he literally shot 3 movies at once.
Right when Yoda said there is another, Luke smelled his fingers and looked very nervous. He was like, uh-oh.
There was apparently they had concerns that there were going to be
Ain't nothing happened. Nothing happened between them.
I know. But I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about concerns that there were people who were going to leak the scripts and stuff like that. So people who they actually thought would do it, they were giving fake information to, or they gave scripts with fake.
It's like what they have to do to Tom Holland and and the Hulk there.
Yeah, but basically what happens? So that's the only Jedi you ever see in any form of Star Wars fiction who dies of natural causes.
Okay, check this out.
But let me just finish that one point. Now I've already fucking lost it because the fake scripts. So one of the fake scripts, and this information actually got out, so they caught that person was the leaker. They didn't say who it was or anything like that, but it was that when they said there is another, or that boy was our last hope from for episode 5. Right. The script that they had revealed that it was Lando. Because at that point there was no knowledge that it was a relative. It was just that there's another person out there.
I wonder if they were fired.
Oh, I'm certain they were fired. They were probably also murdered.
Yeah. Murdered, then fired. Holy fuck, they're all showing up here.
So Alec Guinness came back for a 1-day thing. The original script had him actually come back to life
Whoa.
out of the Force, and I have a feeling Alec Guinness said, "I'm not coming back for more than a day."
No,
and this is what
it's like,
happened.
fuck that. I think that's a lot better. If they can like resurrect themselves, like, my lord, that's a little.
Well, because then and then the end of the movie, you'd be like, well, why didn't he just come
Yeah,
back?
why don't they all just want to go on and on?
Yeah. So
He's looking all right.
yeah, he's doing all right. The for a dead guy, but
You think that when you were dead, you'd take your younger form or something, right?
Yeah.
I always found that strange.
yeah. Well, and then here comes the complaint about Darth Vader at the end of this movie, who shows back up as Hayden Christensen.
Oh, fuck. What a waste of a whole movie.
Well, here's the problem, though. You just said it was a good idea.
Oh, God, I know. Now I'm like, ew.
But when we get to that spot, I'm going to...
Sometimes good ideas turn out real bad at the end,
Yeah.
Joe.
I will argue... well, I'm not going to argue on their behalf, but I'm just going to present...
Somebody's got to play devil's advocate shit, man.
Exactly. I'm just going to present George Lucas's argument. When
How
the
do you know
time
what his
comes.
argument is?
Because
you
he
argued
told,
with him?
Yeah, well, no,
Fuck.
it's on the record. Are you bleeding?
I'm bleeding
Oh, you're
out over
bleeding
here,
out.
man.
Get a freaking
I'm not
Kleenex
used to being
while
in
I
the
talk.
MCU.
I know.
I'm like, I can't breathe, man. I'm all freaked out.
This is the problem. I watch you, as we record these episodes, I watch you pick at yourself like a fucking monster.
Again, you should see me during a movie, like at the theater,
Yeah.
and I'm like chewing my nails, like
Oh,
right
I
off.
sat next to you at Captain Marvel.
Oh, yeah.
I probably have AIDS now.
You definitely have AIDS.
Go get a
now.
Kleenex and don't
I'm
bleed
not
all over my
leaving.
shit. Yes, leave. I don't want you bleeding all over my shit.
Oh,
Well, our shit. You did
God.
help pay for it, but please. It lives here.
It sure does.
It lives with mommy.
It's like that episode of fucking The Simpsons where they all have to go in on the comic.
Oh, yes.
Tuesday and Wednesday, it's over at my house.
I
Getting
just
a Kleenex.
I just keep it.
A big old thing of lube. Leave that right out on the
Yeah.
table.
Yeah, just keep it where my kids
Got a
can't see it.
jar
You know the
of straight
rules.
Cubes that fall off him during sessions.
So we just got the information that Luke and Leia are brother and sister. Interesting story. The original, second, the third trilogy of the group here, so episode 7 through 9, was originally supposed to be Luke searching for his twin sister. I've got the name here. It is Nellin or something like that.
That's the name of the twin sister?
Yeah.
And then he finds out that
I'm
was
trying to
it's all
find
a
it.
gag. What,
Yeah.
there was going to be a whole side plot where he goes to try and
Yes.
find his
Nelleth.
Nelleth.
Yeah, so basically that was going to happen. But then George Lucas was so burnt out, he was just like, no, we're done. We're just making Leia the sister, and then that's going to close out the story.
So there's going to be like 4 other chapters of like finding out Nemeth is
Nelleth.
Nelleth.
That's the little laziest name I've ever heard.
It sounds like when George named all his kids George, but Nelly.
Yeah.
Nelly's
Sure.
a rapper whose actual name is probably not Nelly. Names all of his children some form of Nell name. Oh, there's Buddy. Blah, blah, blah.
Yep, Nine Num.
Nine.
That's
That's funny because his name is almost like his mouth moves. It's kind of it's kind of like numb, like a numb kind of numb. My lips are too big for my nut.
yeah. My tongue is numb.
Yeah. Blah, blah.
So, oh, sexy Mon Mothma.
Mon Muffra. Fucking
The-
right.
They did they did a really good job casting through the other movies, because she does appear in Star Wars Episode 3, and then the same woman from Star Wars Episode 3 appears in Rogue One, because she aged the right amount of years between the two movies, where she would be the right age to play
These
her
guys
again.
are cool too. That's a cool costume.
So Admiral Akbar, interesting little backstory for him. They made a backstory for him that he was Grand Moff Tarkin from Episode 4. He was his slave and was his personal pilot.
they
and
keep
stuff
each
like
other's
that.
slaves.
Yeah, no, Grand Moff Tarkin, who was the bad guy, essentially the main bad guy in the first one, because he's the guy who was in charge of the Death Star.
Okay.
And he kept Admiral Akbar as a slave.
In like a giant fishbowl.
No, as his personal pilot. Slaves aren't pets. Slaves are slaves. They do work.
I wouldn't let my slave
Yeah.
pilot the ship, man. He might fucking crash into
Right.
a bridge or something.
That's what I would think too. But maybe
Maybe these guys have an unnatural pride in their work. So even if he wanted,
Yeah.
even if he hated you,
yeah.
because you're forcing him, he still's got to drive this thing fucking good.
So this is General Nadine. Yeah. And the interesting thing about him, he is a clean shaven man. But what happened was when they gave all the characters to the toy company, to Kenner, his character came in with a beard. So they gave him a fake beard to wear,
Sweet.
so he would match the toy.
They slapped a beard on him.
And
They're
you can
like,
look.
This guy's way
I've
too boring.
I've never questioned it before because he's not a character I really think that much about.
Yeah, right.
But he is like it. You can now see what a clear fake beard it is.
No way. It looks
Yeah.
better than what's his name? Superman's.
Oh God!
I need to talk to you about something right now, sister.
Yeah, we should
It's
really.
about your baby.
I like that. Ask me again sometime. No, we should talk about this right now,
Yeah,
just in case.
Probably.
Because that would be the best. Ask me again sometime. She's like, just come around the corner with me. And she starts like fondling his dick, and you're like, oh no, sister, I should have said it right away. Well, and then she's like, what? And he's like, well, finish.
Yeah, exactly. I'll tell you at the end.
Uh,
Just before you blow it.
oh yeah.
Let me know.
Oh Jesus. Nothing. Nothing.
Like
would
he's
make me
talking about Leia. Take her.
happier. That would
I
be.
mean,
amazing.
take her.
Yeah.
I'm done with her.
I've always wanted to watch her with a black man.
All right, old buddy. I'll give her a mustache.
That's what Solo
ride.
Part 2 is about. It's the first time he watches him fuck his girl. So you just watch Emilia Clarke get
So
taken
it's
by
not.
Donald
It's
Glover.
Solo 2.
Yeah. Did you hear, actually,
Not
the news
Solo.
just came out very recently that Emilia Clarke, while she's been on Game of Thrones, has had multiple aneurysms.
Yeah.
So-
What a tough. She's a fighter, eh?
She almost died.
Multiple times,
during-
apparently.
Yeah, like, I'm just like, because I saw a
because
Jason Momoa interview, and he's like, yeah, she almost died. the
Yeah,
first
well, because they were all at some cast party. Because it's apparently the final battle is the largest battle scene ever filmed
Yes.
ever
It's-
in anything.
And if anybody knows the Battle of the Bastards, so if you watched the show, you know it. It is a gigantic battle. It's probably the biggest one you've ever seen on TV, at least. And this one, it's like they said it makes it look like a joke.
It said it's the biggest battle of any movie
You'd
of
really-
anything.
You'd love the Battle of the Bastards if you watched it, man. It's pretty much the entire episode, and there's one point where literally they're just fighting over top of a giant pile of dead bodies.
Nice.
It's so good. It's violent
It's my
as
kind
fuck.
of fantasy.
Yeah, there's bits to get around. Like, I know exactly what you're talking about. And I
Yeah.
do understand what you're saying.
I like high
but-
fantasy.
Yes, yeah,
Like
you want.
orcs and
Yeah.
and high adventure. I don't like this.
Well, there's a lot.
slogging and this politics and the
Yeah.
no, that's fine. But the politics, like, ugh.
Yeah,
Oh God, look at those things. They look like a Nerf gun with a couple that hang
Totally.
down.
totally. I want to give credit to my cousin who just made a giant gun rack for Nerf guns for his kids.
Nice.
So it's like one of those big like corkboard press board things that like you would put tools up on or something like that.
That is so
and,
cool.
and it's just like a wall of.
You know that when like the music starts, the montage, because you know it's on. You open the. Dun, dun, dun,
Whoa.
dun, dun.
What is it?
exactly?
So
See, the grape. There's grape pieces in there.
yeah, there are.
Looks like shit.
That's fine. I think it's necessary. You would like it would just look like flat black otherwise, and that would be boring. You need to
Says
see.
you.
You need to see.
No, I
beeping
think
shit.
you're right. Though you're probably right. Yeah.
Yeah, you gotta see
It'd
some
be
switches.
too much. You wouldn't even see him.
Well, and then if
What am I
anybody
looking
had
at
to,
here?
and if somebody had to operate his switches,
Perry Farrell.
he does look totally like him.
that
Oh
is
my
him.
God.
It's like he wears the same clothing all the time.
The Ian McDiarmid there, to get his voice, because the original Emperor had a very different voice. It was more like aristocratic and like whatever. And Ian McDiarmid decided to use this. It's like a Japanese style where you like project all from your gut. And that's how it is, like the projected like voice came out, and everybody was like, "This is amazing! This is so much better." Which is the main reason why they went back and reshot after the fact, because
Yo, this guy's got it.
I really, really love the look of their Star Destroyers.
Yeah, they're badass.
They are really badass, and then they only got cooler. Honestly, like I loved like the giant, the Dreadnought class one or whatever that's at the beginning of. Return of the Jedi, The Last Jedi.
right.
Remember the giant one that they end up blowing up at the very beginning?
Yes.
It's just like 4 times the width.
Yeah, it's
of any
fucking
of them. It's so
huge.
huge.
I don't know who's footing this bill, man. My lord.
We'll
I think
have
it
to
was
do.
like the garbage receptacle, just that on wheels.
We'll have to do Spaceballs soon.
Spaceballs, the
We will.
movie.
Just like out of this world. So you get a lot of people playing. This is the movie where the most people play Darth Vader.
Oh, there's like multiple people in the suit because
Well,
the buddy's off in the shitter.
well-
It's time to slap somebody in there.
Well, David Prowse is in him for the bulk of the movie. He's the guy who's been in him the whole time. Bob I keep forgetting his goddamn name.
His chin whip scar is really pronounced in this movie.
It is.
Notice how I said whip scar?
Yes.
That's how we got it.
I hear you.
On a train running from that dude when he was with that Phoenix brother.
That was one of my favorite things they ever did because you didn't even give your character backstory. You just explained away a flaw on your actor.
Yeah.
Which I thought was brilliant. But anyways, yeah, the fight choreographer, I can't remember his name because he was also like the fight choreographer for friggin' Lord of the Rings and everything else. But his name is just escaping me right now. But he was, for all the lightsaber fight scenes, he's in the suit. Then Sebastian Shaw, who actually plays him. Oh, that just occurred to me. Sebastian Shaw is the name of Kevin Bacon in X-Men First Class, but that's neither here nor there.
It probably means something.
Probably. But yeah, Sebastian Shaw.
It all connects to Kevin Bacon, even in fucking space.
Well done.
Yep.
But the idea of he was in the suit for like the unmasking bit where like you talk to him and stuff, and then of course James Earl Jones doing the voice.
Nice.
So he had 4 different people playing Darth Vader in this movie.
Fucking A. Oh yeah.
Oh,
we're here. I was gonna be, where the fuck are they?
Actually, 5. Well, unless you want to say, well, nah, it's Anakin, because I'd say Hayden Christensen at the end.
No, he wasn't in the suit.
No, it's true.
Although he was playing.
Yes, he was playing
the character.
same dude.
Look at this fuzzy planet.
Yeah, which is California. This is the California.
Look, you can see someone in the background there.
Uh-oh.
Right there.
I know.
Behind Han.
Oh, I didn't see him. It was a predator, probably.
No, something's creeping. I think there's a little guy back there.
Oh, could be.
Dude, I'm telling you right now, if you rewind that scene, maybe it was a tech guy or something.
It could be. It could just be another guy because, like, they're not the
One of
only
their
3
dudes.
people. Yeah, it just could be another one of them. My favorite piece of trivia that I read was that Chewbacca, because this is in California and like a place where you can hunt and all that shit, Chewbacca had to be escorted by 4 crew members everywhere because they were legitimately afraid that hunters would mistake him for Bigfoot and kill him.
Oh my God.
Because you know how people are and they're out there and they're
That's
like,
real?
Yeah,
that's a
real.
good one, man. That is a good one. This is a cool scene.
It's one of the only times you ever you see him use his bowcaster in the movies, but it's like one of the few times other than before The Force Awakens where it was very pronounced and you could see it like, oh, that's clearly something different.
If I was...
This is a good scene.
Yes, it is. If I was one of the stormtroopers, I would have asked a long time ago, can I just not wear the suit? It's hot. It does nothing.
Yeah.
Watch this footage.
It protects
he gets
him.
punched in the face by a girl. He's unconscious for 3 days.
It's true.
Like, I think it's actually deterring us from doing well.
So shooting these scenes, a very simple tactic was basically camera operators are literally just, they have a steady cam and they're just walking through the desert, through the woods here and shooting at 1 frame per second.
Whoa.
So then what happens is when you speed it up to 24 frames per second, then it looks like you're actually going through at a speed, and then they just project it up as the background. And then, of course, do it backwards, depending on which angle, like this, for example.
Oh, that's a big old tree.
See, that's what's
Where
really
did you say
cool.
this was California?
Yeah, this is the California redwood forest.
Yeah, they're not there anymore.
So, no, they're still there.
There's one.
Most of it's burnt down, and then some of it was torn down to build the Big Brother house. But but the rest of it's there. I like these speeders. I came dangerously close. I had a little bit of extra money, and I mean a little bit.
To buy the full scale?
Not the full scale. I
had a little bit of money left.
I have a picture of me sitting on a full scale one of those though. But I almost bought the Hot Toys version of the guy on the speeder. It's the Stormtrooper speeder.
Yeah, that would be the one to get.
Oh no, there's no one to get. That's the problem. That's why
I want to get the little Ewok on there.
Because
maybe you can take them off and put different guys on.
Oh, I have a very interesting thing about the Ewok who gets on there too, but we'll get to that.
Oh my God,
dude! Oh, there's tons of stuff in this one, man. My favorite thing about those things is that they have a mechanism to jam the comm links of their fellow bikes. It's like jam the con link, center switch.
Yeah,
there's literally a button.
One of the guys is real mouthy, so they're like, fucking cut him off.
For sure.
He was ruining their position. You think you could handle one of these?
No. I can barely handle a bicycle.
I don't think I can handle it. It's way too fast. There's too many trees. Yeah. I was hoping at some point in time this would have been a ride somewhere. I don't know how they ever would have done it, but...
Palladium, this was a video game. This was one of the levels on the Star Wars.
I forgot about Palladium.
Yeah, man. I drove past it recently, and I just thought about that one day when we took all the video equipment from school and we went and we took a road trip. Remember, we all drove up to Palladium.
To the Palladium.
Yeah, in Mississauga.
Big Soggy.
Yeah.
I don't remember that.
Well, it happened.
I probably wasn't even there.
No, you were definitely.
You do that all the time. You're like, yeah, you were there. I was like, I wasn't even there.
No, it was you were 100% there.
But like
we thought it would be funny to like videotape our journey, so we literally took all the equipment. We got permission to take the equipment. Like, oh yeah, we're shooting a thing for school, and they're like, oh yeah, no problem. And then we just left and we played hooky for the rest of the day and went and played fucking.
Wait, that sounds like something.
Yeah, that sounds like
This
something.
dude was such a good driver on that thing that he turned around in the woods and came back at him.
Well, you'd think at the very least, nothing has been opposing them this entire time. Something else you notice, I mean, I haven't brought up yet anyways, is he's got a green lightsaber now. They did that for a couple different reasons. One, it was to, again, make him more neutral. They went from a blue, which is a more pure color, to a green, but also they really needed to accentuate the fact that he doesn't have the lightsaber he had in the last one. So then people weren't like going, well, hey, how'd he get that back? So they're just another color, just do it that way.
Did Yoda give him that one?
No, he built that one himself.
Oh.
And that's why I'm saying that's why that extra scene was good, because you actually see him building it.
Tinkering around. You got this baby on Evo.
Oh, speaking of which, too, Mark Hamill is the voice of Chucky now.
Oh, I read that. Yes, that's killer.
So that's
good for him.
That's awesome that you just said that, because that's where that came from.
Yep.
Hello.
I did that on purpose. Here they are. Look at these little feet.
Ewoks. So.
Oh man, I'd pick the bugs out of these guys all day long.
What was hilarious? Again, we've discussed this during the Christmas special. These were supposed to be Wookiees.
Yeah.
And it got changed for God knows what reason.
Who cares?
But I like that. These are a very divisive species, though. A lot of people do not like this movie because
what the fuck is people's problem?
Because of the Ewoks. They're like, the problem is it's now as they've grown up with the movies, they're like, it's too cutesy.
It's too cutesy. They're fierce warriors.
I know.
You know that out there is going to be some little cuties like this.
Exactly, right? Well, it's the scenes where they're being too cute, where it's like they like that when they're being warriors, but then it's like, oh, like look at me, I'm a little hamster.
They're not thinking, look at me, I'm a little hamster. I
think that's his actual line.
Do you think that when the really cutesy animals you see out there they're not being like, I'm going to go and be cutesy. They're just like, I'm going to go out and fucking murder something.
Yeah.
But it's not my fault that I look cutesy.
I'm pretty sure otters think they're going to be cutesy.
Maybe. Them. They think they're like me. They think that at all times there might be a camera, even though you can't see it. And there is someone watching.
They're a little fey, and they're a little like, hey, what's your deal? I'll never tell. Like, you know what I mean?
I'll never tell.
Exactly. But now a very important thing.
Well, not now because she's dead.
So this is the Ewok Wicket.
Look at him.
And he's
so cute.
Is a very important one for a major reason. This is the first major appearance of Warwick Davis in a movie.
No way.
He was not supposed to be this Ewok. The other one called in sick or like whatever happened. The guy who was supposed to play this one, who was an older one. I think it was Kenny Baker, actually.
No shit.
Was supposed to be this one, and he got sick or something happened.
All right, I'll check your head out.
I believe at the time he was 16 years old or something like that. And so this is Warwick Davis.
Oh,
and
wicked.
we
There's
knew
a leprechaun in there, man.
And then, I mean, this obviously led to Willow for him and Leprechaun and every fucking other thing.
Oh, yeah, because Willow is a Lucas film movie directed by Ron Howard. Did we watch that one?
No. We literally just went through the list of movies we did today.
I don't know what we've watched.
I know.
Even though I just looked at them.
I got to make just a text thing first, just like in alphabetical order. So when you think of a movie, you could just like list down and go, okay, no, we haven't done that yet. Because we're at that point now where we're
like my aunt and uncle renting movies. I don't know what I've rented. I was just here yesterday. I don't know.
I've never heard of this movie.
Never seen that, and then had like 10 minutes. They're like, "Oh, yeah, we saw this. It's even written down here on the list." I'm like, "Fuck!" Like
this is the 37th time you've seen Death Wish 4.
Like, what the fuck?
God, we watched some god awful movies with them.
I know, right?
We used to travel up north with Todd's aunt and uncle, and we'd spend 3 weeks in Huntsville, right around an area where Kurt Russell and
Goldie Hawn
owned some property. And
Giggle Girl.
Never saw them, but that's neither here nor there. We wouldn't.
You felt their presence,
nearly enough. Oh, absolutely. I was like, a breeze caused by beautiful man hair
Exactly.
just happened.
And not even CG de-aged.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't look like he's very heavy. She
How
got him out there.
does a little person feel about being scooped by a friggin' adult? Like
He's
adult
playing
person?
a character that likes to be scooped.
I know.
That's what you got to play the role. You signed up for it. Don't get all weird now.
Yeah. So, interesting thing. John Williams did not do this score completely by himself. His son worked on a bit of this score. I have his name somewhere.
Oh, this is just a guy trying to get his son into the biz. You know he did it.
No,
Fuck,
but this is
whatever.
way more
Like when our
interesting.
parents did all of our projects for us and then like pretended.
That was you, buddy. I actually did my shit. But the
I had shit to do. Like nothing.
I can't. Oh, here it is. His son was Joseph Williams. But the more interesting thing, Joseph Williams is the lead singer of Toto.
Is that
So
him?
John Williams' son is the lead singer of Toto.
Well, I think
who
he
sings
was.
Africa. Yeah.
I think the new singer of Toto is.
Well, if there's a new singer of Toto, it's a little like.
Keep up on your Toto news.
I know, but I'm just saying when Africa came out, it was this dude because that was the time. Like
That's it. Totoers, call in. Oh, is that hooked up yet?
What?
I'm calling my Totoers.
Oh yeah, no, it's
we're called Totoers.
Yep. Yeah.
Mega fans.
289-769-3288. Give us a call.
Say it
That's a real
sexier.
phone number.
Nobody's gonna call that.
Pick up the phone.
Lonely.
So this is one of the many chair designs for the Emperor. This is obviously the one they went with. A lot of their things, this had an automatic like turnaround and stuff like that, and it just didn't work. So literally when he's turning around, I guess they fix the shot a little bit so you don't see him. But like Ian McDiarmid, he was like having to like shuffle
He's shuffling his
foot and
feet.
stuff.
Did you see Darth Vader's like chain was hanging out?
Oh, I didn't notice that.
Oh, maybe they'll show it again. He had like a freaking gold chain his old lady gave
Was
him
it up
years
by
ago.
like where his cape is?
Oh, it might have been to keep his cape on.
That's part of his cape.
Nope, that's exactly what it was. Yep.
Okay.
Good call.
So boom.
I thought he was wearing a suit.
George Lucas.
He's like, you throw that cross to the other side, keep the chain, like it.
George Lucas, batting 1,000. Leave him alone.
That guy hasn't come out with anything. Do you think when the guy's got $4 billion, he would have come up with something else?
Oh no, he's so fucking tired.
He's
now.
probably going to come up with American Graffiti Redux or something.
That'd be amazing.
He's going to add
Well, he did
in
make
more
more
shots
American
of
Graffiti.
CG. Oh,
There's a
God.
Well, and they said that I think that was something you hear him talk about it in the episode 1 documentary, which I almost want to do the commentary for that more than doing episode 1, but we're doing it because
who
we're fucking
doesn't?
completionists. But
We?
yes,
Don't suck me into your
I know this is
completionism.
This is one of those times when I'm just really feel guilty that I'm pulling rank, but I'm doing it.
agree. Look at this.
That
That does
looks-
look pretty tasty, Chewy, man. Take a
From
bite.
that one angle, it looks like it was just like a hollowed out Muppet. Like it looks like it's just like before they put all the stuff in. It's like you can
it's
see
got
from
a
the
lot
one
of
angle, it's
stuff
got
going
like
on there.
yeah, like you
There
can
was
see
like
from
a
the one
tentacle
angle,
coming out, or
and it's
an
got
eye.
like weird like tusk teeth.
Yeah. Oh, nice job, Chewy. Nice
There
job.
it is.
Oh,
See,
there
that's
it
the
is.
one bit, but from the other angle, it just looked like it could have been fucking anything.
You take it easy.
You gotta get out of this thing. This is like a fucking Three Stooges scene.
Yeah.
What?
Well, you know this would happen out there, though. Oh, here
Yeah.
you go. Here you go.
This was
Here
good.
you
This
go.
was actually a good little piece of comedy. I don't think that cutting that one specific spot of rope would have been enough.
He's starting to get rusty or
Yeah.
something. This paint's coming. Oh,
Yeah.
look at the background.
Well, they're pretty battle
I
worn.
got
Oh,
fucking,
hey.
I was gonna say the Wookiee eye.
So I looked through a.
Look at all the different colors.
Yeah.
This is it. This is the few. This is why people
That
don't
one-
like them
That's
because
yeah.
they're all getting along.
the fucking
Orange,
multiracial.
fluffy. I don't know. Maybe one's bald that they don't like, but
Yeah.
there should have been a bald one.
I didn't tell you. I can't believe I haven't told you. I was at work.
Are you my father?
Yeah, ish. I was part of a cocktail. Let's just say that. But no, my one of my friends from work, we were doing a night shift, and he went to a place where we all go to buy our fried chicken, and then he came back, and he's like, "So, I just came across something. We're right near the Weston Harbor Castle in Toronto, and I really hope they enjoyed this plug I'm about to give them." But he's like, there was a furry convention going on,
Nice.
and there were a bunch of furries sitting out front, and he took a picture of me. He's like, one of them looked like they wanted to murder me when they saw me taking their photo. And I was like, oh my
Don't go
Lord.
out dressed up as an animal if you don't want people to take your picture.
I'm just saying, if I was ever be in a furry convention, I would go as an Ewok.
Does that
I
count?
would- yeah, well, yeah, I guess
You
so.
never see any lizards or anything. Whoa, did you hear that on the mic, bro?
Yeah.
Woo-hoo.
Woohoo, so proud. But anyways, I was looking up So the problem is I know so many of those. And actually the one who's black and white with the headpiece on, you'll like this one. His name is Tebow.
What?
Yeah, man.
Who? Where?
Watch, you'll see in the longer shot, he's not the chief, he's the shaman of the group. I actually know their fucking roles and stuff. It's not great.
I know, it's totally great.
I know. But
I'm getting a shirt made that says Tebow, the sailor, and it's going to have that guy. And I'm going to put a sailor hat on him.
we could do that.
Boom.
Oh, I could do that in a fucking
We should
heartbeat.
make you one an Ewok of yours, too.
I'll
We
make
can
a
make you.
So
We got to pick which
Joe.
Ewok would you be?
Well, I
That
don't
one's
have
clearly me.
Yeah, that one is clearly.
You know which one you
I'll
could
just
be?
make the.
You could be the one that dies in the hang glider accident.
Oh, I almost met that guy. He was at Comic-Con last year.
Oh my god! I
'Cause
need to leave the room.
do you know
when that
who else
happens,
he
man.
played?
I can't be here for that.
Do you know who else he played? Cousin It in the
What? No
original
way.
Addams Family. I mean, it's not like there wouldn't be a ton of crossover, right? Why haven't they not shown the wide shot so I could show you Tebow again? There he is on the left with like
With
the
the
skull.
bone thing
yeah,
on?
Yeah,
That guy's killer looking.
yeah, he's badass. He's probably one of the coolest ones.
There. He looks like he's their shaman or something.
He almost like I just told you, he's their shaman.
Whoa! I think I'm psychic of the, like.
Yeah.
You say it, and then I know you were about to say it.
So this is all taken like because the Wookiees, like all of this is direct what's it called, depictions of their world, that they live in the tree houses and the tall trees and stuff like that. So this was all designed for the Wookiees, and then they're just like, oh, the Ewoks live like this too, go ahead.
Of course they do. Why not?
Yeah,
Got his recliner all set up.
He's
That's the
doing great.
comfiest chair they've got.
I know it. I always wonder why they wear the headdresses though. Like it's not really protection. This is Logray who's coming up on him right now. I'm fine, by the way, just having you as just Tebow.
Logray.
Yeah,
You know all their names and shit. What does he do?
that's wicked. Oh, Logray, he's not the chief. He's like one of the elders.
That's a killer. What the fuck? I always noticed that too. Like his right leg is like
Or-
colors coming off. He scraped the leg
Oh,
off. falling.
Logray is the shaman. I'm remembering now.
Oh, I'm not the shaman.
No,
What a
he's-
fucking waste.
But no, you're a warrior then.
Oh, whatever.
That's
I
all
don't
right.
even have a cool hat.
Nothing wrong with
That makes it better because the idea of me taking that cool hat off and making a sailor cap on there, I was like, oh, you're taking his cool hat off.
Yeah, I know. Wow.
Now it'll work out better. We have to find out which one Tebow is later. We'll go through the Ewok directory,
Yes.
aka Joe's brain.
Just give me some time. Like her hair gets so long. It's
I
like,
was going to say, is that her real hair?
I doubt it's her real hair. That's got to be extensions like fucking crazy, right? But I think it's the first time, because realistically, every time you've seen her, her hair's always tied up in buns, or at least when she was Slave Girl, she had like a big long ponytail. Is the first time you've actually seen length in her hair.
Oh, because
Like
it's always
that.
been up.
Yeah, it's always up in some way. Like even
It's cool looking.
in Empire, when they're like when they're on Bespin, it's like got that like looped thing where it's like braided and then it comes back down and up.
Right.
So it's like
She's had a lot of... how many different hairstyles has she had throughout the course of this trilogy?
I would say that she's probably like maybe 2 more than the amount of dress changes that fucking
Whoopi did.
I was literally just gonna say Whoopi.
That's what I thought of, too.
My thing was I was trying to decide between Whoopi or Anne Hathaway, and I was like,
Sweet.
and then you just
gotta
and
go
then
with
you
Whoopi, yo.
that was my hesitation.
That's fucking hilarious. Because I was thinking the same thing, too.
That's so funny.
Oh, they don't give a fuck?
No,
You
Lord,
didn't
I'm
show
on
them your
fire.
titties. Show them your titties like she did.
That's probably what happened.
She's like, look
This
at
is great.
Because you would know, if movies have taught me anything, it's that every creature in the known
love that
universe
little baby
wants women, Earth women.
Yeah. It's true. There's a certain arrogance of us as the people who write the science fiction and stuff. Star Trek was the worst at it.
Yeah.
It's like, why does every race of woman want fucking William Shatner? It's not even the best looking guy in his crew. I don't know why George
I know.
Takei isn't slaying the
I
pussy.
know, like, what the hell? They all should have gotten a piece.
Yeah.
That's what bugged me.
Remember his weird awkward kiss with
I started,
Michelle Nichols?
it's the only thing I can see
Yeah.
in my mind's eye.
oh, Tebow's gonna get fucked up.
Oh, no, that's not Tebow, but run Tebow. I'll call you Tebow anyways.
Yeah, it's all good.
Fucking Ewoks. That one was a big one. Some of them are pretty big.
Yeah. Well,
That looks like a grown man.
yeah, there's still
There's
still those. But look how little he is.
Actually, the little ones are grown men as well. They've grown as much as they are going
Yes.
to, and they are men. I
are.
apologize to
Yeah.
little people of the world.
It's a difficult thing. Literally the only little person we know, his legal name was Les.
I know.
So
Yeah.
it's really difficult for us.
Man. Yeah, that's like a boy named Sue. Do you think his father named him that like to toughen him up? Like, I'll keep you tough.
Either that, or they just flat out didn't, like, nobody saw the signs and he was not diagnosed
Right.
as with dwarfism. Like, it's all I can think of. But yeah, it's
I hope he's doing all right.
Yeah,
Hope
I
you're doing
do
all right
too.
over there, bud.
yeah.
Is that one even old enough to smoke?
I know, you never know.
He's fucking. Oh, this thing
The-
I like
the
this scene.
babies
This
make
is
me
like a
wanna die.
great scene.
Yes, he actually
This
says.
is the scene that people hate because it's cute.
I like this one a lot. He actually says the word Naboo in here at some point too, so you don't know how much of the story he's telling.
Right.
He might be going right back into the prequels. Then you see all the Ewoks get disinterested while he's talking about Naboo.
Do you think that Thor can speak Ewok?
Of course he can, especially now.
Look at those cute little babies. Oh.
All of the languages too. I didn't realize, like, they didn't make up any languages for any of these people. Like, they're speaking.
Oh, look at
Yeah. And he's purring too if you really listen. But they're speaking, I can't remember, it's like a Russian language or something like that. It's like, and then they just add little flourishes and things like that, like your yub nubs and whatnot. But
Your yub nubs.
it's
Look at the cute little front teeth. They all got chompers on them.
because Wicket was one of the main ones, because he spent more time like seeing his actual face. Apparently they had a mechanism in them so his eyes would blink. So he
Right.
would look less stuffed. You know what I mean?
They probably stink
But-
to fuck. They're probably cute as hell, but they probably stink.
That's Chief Chirpa sitting in the seat, just so we're all aware of that. And
Chief
that's
Sherpa?
Chirpa.
Oh, man, I want to hug a friggin' Ewok so bad.
And we also saw Paplu in there.
They should have that at the new Star Wars thing. Hug an Ewok.
Oh my god.
Stand in line for 4 hours. I'd do it.
Yeah, I probably
Like
would
waiting
do it.
for one of the princesses or something.
That's the problem. I want to. He's humping on the leg. That was like, you remember in Fanboys, where they're all on the peyote there, and he's like, he's humping your leg. He's humping your leg. That movie was really well done.
Peyote. I agree. I liked it too.
Like, it's dumb, but it's the
No, it
right.
was good. It
It's
did
the good kind
Yeah,
of dumb.
exactly.
Like,
Oh,
it's-
shit.
don't punch our shit, man.
Holy fuck. Shit puncher.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Oh,
I
I
still
can
got
sort
a
of see
hard
the
on
girl.
over you, but we can't do anything. You're my
Yeah.
sister.
Somehow it made me harder.
My hands, my robot hands, weird.
This is a weird
You
thing
heard of the
too.
Phantom? This is beyond that.
The stranger.
What they got? That would be like Electro Stranger if your hand is electric or whatever.
Yeah.
Robo Stranger.
Mr. Roboto.
Demogorgon.
The people complained that this, especially after the prequels, they're like, this doesn't make any sense because the prequels and stuff, because they're talking about how her mom died when she was young and stuff like that. But they're like, her adopted mom could have died when she was young and her not know.
Right.
And because anything else in the expanded universe, even in the video games and stuff like that, you never see the mom. You only ever see Bail
Darth.
Organa and her.
Right.
And the radio plays that come on even after and stuff like that, it's just Bail Organa and her. It's never the mom.
And how you keep all these fucking names in check. Holy shit.
I don't know. It's just
Bam Margera and whoever the fuck else.
It's all about just organizing your thoughts. And I created a proper
Take away the
folder.
crap like family names, events that have happened.
Could not
like,
care less.
See ya, dump.
I have my son's health card on me. If I need his name, I know where to get it. Like, it's fine. It's
His name is Son.
what's his name? I'm like, I'm not even looking because I'm really trying to keep the name of a fucking
You have Star Wars character.
Yeah. No,
Don't ruin this.
I'm trying to impress somebody with my knowledge of the craft services for episode 2.
Yeah.
So
It was all egg salad.
his face looks so weird in this one.
Freak.
His lips look like all poofy.
This is after he had the accident.
It is, but it looks even more different. Like, it looks, I don't
I
know.
like Mark Hamill a lot.
Mark Hamill is one of the most, especially now, something has happened where, like, he is just that even
It's like
that
so
much,
cool.
he's that much more accessible. I would argue that this is, I mean, it doesn't get more I don't know what that was.
The fuck was that?
But,
Okay, so
yeah, I
keep
don't know.
talking.
We're gonna get murdered.
Talk through the
Talk through the murder. But like I would argue that there was never a time he was more famous than this point, just because there's never been anything like this. But now is a very close period of time because he's back in Star Wars and he's doing all these other things. He's in Nightfall. He's the Joker. He's doing all kinds of shit. And
He's getting a lot of work.
Exactly, right? And he's more accessible than ever. Like his social media game is strong as shit, man. Like you follow his stuff and
He's talking every. You never know. He might just respond.
He's liked some of my tweets. Long time ago. But it was when what's his face? When Anthony Atamanuk started playing Donald Trump. He appeared in a couple things, and then he tried to get, when Donald Trump wasn't going to go to the, what's it called, the White House Correspondents' Dinner.
Right.
He started trying to campaign for him to be his replacement and to show up and then and then he would basically be like the keynote speaker or roaster kind of guy.
Right.
And I started, and I've mentioned this on here, but I started the hashtag Make Anthony Trump Again.
Right.
And Mark Hamill liked it, and then it helped become a thing.
And the one when you typed, "Sometimes I want to bang my sister," he put a big thumbs up with a happy face emoji.
I don't though. My sister's a bitch.
I realized that while saying that like I was like, "Hey, you actually do have a sister."
Yeah. Whoopsie doodles.
Whatever. Makes the joke even better. For me,
because I also have a sister.
Same goes here.
Yeah, so taboo on Naboo.
Ooh, taboo. That's a new porn. Taboo on Naboo.
Well, that definitely.
It's a Star Wars spoof porn.
That'd be fantastic.
I think Leia should get doubled or tripled or quadrupled by Ewoks.
This is what Taboo on Naboo is. Every now and again, Luke and Leia meet on Naboo where their parents were wed.
Yep.
And they make love under the stars while Han is off on some mission and nobody knows what's going on.
Yeah.
I believe they also added that Walker there just so that.
I don't think they did. I think that was there.
I don't know. It doesn't. Maybe it was because of the shot. But anyways, so they're doing that, and then the Force ghost of Anakin just shows up and watches them.
Force ghost.
That's what they're called. They're called Force
Or
ghosts.
like a Force choke.
Yeah.
Like a Force dump. Like you just add Force before whatever.
Well, if a Jedi's doing it, yes.
Yeah.
And if
I guess they're like doctors. Like I didn't go to 12 years to Jedi school to not take a Force dump.
Way more than 12 years too. They're taken as babies.
Yeah, like fuck, I didn't grow up. Fuck, oh fuck, here he is. There's old man. First time they've seen each other since he chopped his son's hand off.
Yeah, that is an awkward conversation.
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
You've heard those stories about like a guy who like gets into a fight with his dad and then they don't he moves out the next day and they don't talk to each other for 10 years. That's like this. Only it's probably only been like 6 months.
It's still pretty fresh.
Yeah. Man.
It's not like you get back together and you regret. You're like, oh, all the years we could have been doing this and that.
Wouldn't it have been way better if he was just like,
close.
I don't want. It's like, look, don't apologize. I'm not going to accept it. Like just like that kind of thing.
Don't even try. Look he can put different things on like Dr. Claw now though. Different hands.
That would be amazing. He should have I always wanted to create a Jedi character who's a super grizzled, he's like one of those warrior Jedis they send to all the battles, so he's all scarred up and shit. He's missing a hand, but his hand is his lightsaber.
Whoa!
Like it's just it just comes out where he's just installed it like on his arm, like a bionic arm thing or something.
Hopefully that wouldn't be your right. Like if you were right-handed and then you lost your right hand and replaced it with a lightsaber, you'd probably accidentally cut your genitals off sooner or later.
Yeah. Well, I don't think especially with a Jedi, I don't think that handedness is such a huge deal.
Right. It's not like it's not a game changer.
And the force is flowing through you as you're doing it. So it's helping you along and going, hey, don't cut those genitals off.
He turned around.
Darth Vader, they found out literally as they were getting ready to start production of this, all of his lightsabers were stolen.
What?
Yeah, it was, somebody broke into wherever they were, and they were all gone. So they had to take a bunch of Luke's lightsabers, his old ones, and then like monkey around with them so they look more like the
somebody fucking stole them all. It's probably the same guy that gave up the
Lando
script.
Yep,
exactly.
Hells yeah.
The fucking guy's a scroll.
Fucking scrolls.
Fucker.
Oh.
Look at this Shit, they don't make them like this anymore. Woo!
We're back.
We're back, baby.
We weren't allowed to say that with Marvel because they were literally in the middle of making them like this.
Exactly. I was contractually obligated to not say it.
Oh, yeah. Well, you just would have sounded dumb.
They said, if you watch it again, you'll notice I say Taco Bell a lot.
Yeah.
Because we put that in instead. We got a big contract with Taco Bell.
You know what I always say in this situation? Taco Bell.
Exactly. You just hear cha-ching, cha-ching.
That would be, oh, God, I wish.
Oh, he's thinking. Even though he's
cha-ching,
got
cha-ching.
a mask on that doesn't blink or anything, I could really feel him thinking there.
Well, it's one of my favorite shirts that I have is that. It's
like sad, happy.
Yeah, it's a very common shirt, and I also have the exact same shirt with Chewbacca. Where it just says like graw, like it's like the same thing over and over again. But I don't know. I'm a nerd and I fucking like it. So
you would have previously had to have seen the other shirt to get this shirt, essentially.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Right. It's kind of weird.
Yeah, my favorite.
But a lot of people have seen it, so.
Actually, my favorite Star Wars shirt that I ever saw, and I don't know what this says about me, it only came in a children's size when I was at Disney World. It was a four panel thing, and it was how to draw Darth Vader. And the first is like draw the outline of the helmet, and it was very like it looked like it was drawn by a child.
Right.
And then it's like add this part, and it's this, and then it's like add this part, and those are your three things, and it looks like essentially a stick man with sort of a Darth Vader helmet, and then it's like last thing is finish drawing Darth Vader perfectly. And it's just like that was, and then it's just a perfectly drawn one.
Right.
I was like, I love it. And we literally went to every single store that sold Star Wars merchandise
to try and find the adult size.
And to try to find an adult size, and it didn't work. They did sell them because I asked somebody. They were just sold out.
That guy's a hella mouth breather. Look at him. Dear God.
Oh, man.
Imagine that guy breathing on you in the night. He looks like he eats exclusively fish.
Nine Numb, he's interesting too because the planet that the moon, like, because Endor is the moon, and the planet that it's where they all met, their rendezvous point was Sullust, and that's where Nine Numb is from. So that's like one of the that was like a pretty major place for the rebellion and stuff like that. So. And he's the only one of his kind. And you get to see him. He's one of the few characters from this movie that actually appears in future movies. Because he's in The Force Awakens and stuff. When you see him, it's not a different dude. Just like Admiral Akbar. It's good times. Oh, he did blink there. Yeah, okay.
Yeah, he blinks.
I'm thinking, you know what, though?
Maybe they added the blink.
I'm thinking they added the blink. It looked
I think they did too, actually.
Because he was supposed to blink. And Warwick Davis said that it was broken, so they could never do it. So that means they must have digitally added them, which, okay, cool. That one I kind of on board with because that was his intention. So this is the character of Paplu, I think it is.
It's fun.
Yeah.
It's like an Ewok from like 100 yards.
But do you know
that's so-and-so.
No, but do you know who that one is?
Look
you know what? No,
Look
I think that Paplu was actually played by Kenny Baker. Like when he came back, that's who he took over. But the one who is hanging from that is none other than Tony Cox, the black one from like Me, Myself, and Irene.
No way.
Like she'll be eating blah blah, right? As soon as I free Willy, who he was also in.
He was so killer.
He was also
Me, Myself,
in,
and Irene.
Yeah, but he was also in I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker.
Oh, in the hat. He's in his big hat. Yeah.
From the waist down, you mine, man, you mine.
Guy's got a lot of work. Well, I guess, seemingly, I guess.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and I mean, that's the thing. It's like this weird dichotomy of for little people actors because it's like the roles aren't.
You got to be in fantasy movies and space stuff.
That's the big thing. Well, and if there's going to be any number of people. Because it's like usually little people. There's like a couple, and then it's like now all of them are competing for those two jobs. Right. But then something like this, it's like we're literally
like the Munchkins. Bring it on!
It's like literally the phone tree goes out. Like, come on, boys, we're all going to work, and it's like it's exactly like Wizard of Oz and like those other things where they all got to work. There's another one. Who I can't give away what the movie is because it's our next movie. But there is somebody who's a little person in this movie and a little person in our next movie.
Oh, yeah.
And you know exactly who I'm talking about.
Yeah, I won't pull a fucking Tom Hollander
No.
Tom Hollandaise.
Or a you, because we have footage of you multiple times saying what the next episode is.
Oh my God. You added that in.
I did.
You went through all of our episodes and you found the perfect words and you chopped them together to set me up.
I George Lucas all of our episodes. I'm like, man, if only we could have just had this. It would have been way funnier if Todd would have just accidentally did this.
Or like one episode is like, instead of me, it's Chewbacca.
Yeah.
And even though I sat here and did it, that's every time. You just put it over top.
Also, I'm completely incapable of putting together a sentence. So it's like and anybody who listens to what I
tell me about it
doesn't go to air, you can tell. That's why you got to listen to our
mistake.
Yeah.
That's the first one.
That would have been the best. He's like, you're not going to attack me. And he goes off. And the first thing he does is just run at him and attack him.
I love that scene. They kind of mimic the scene in The Last Jedi.
Yeah. There was a lot of talk and rumor about those like red guards, how they were like supposed to be more powerful than even Darth Vader and stuff like that. But then that ended up just being.
I don't believe that. Why wouldn't they take them?
Yeah.
They're evil. You know, they always.
Yeah. Well, and if you're just talking about the whole like myth of the Sith, is he
Sith
would
myth?
want. Well, he would want the strongest possible, unless they just don't have any force abilities and they're just that good of fighters or whatever. But I don't know. But
that's what I would guess, is that they're just deadly ass awesome fighters, but they don't have the force.
Yeah. Interesting little piece of information. Ian McDiarmid, when he shot this movie, your current age.
No way.
Yeah.
23. Fucking right on.
He was sitting around. He was sitting, like, depending on how early they shot it, because I know they shot over a year, so he was somewhere between. He could have been anywhere between 37 and 39.
I did a good job on
when he shot it. So, and because he was, and then he was an actual old man in time for the other ones. So they say, in the Blu-ray, Ian McDiarmid in the commentary, which I don't recommend listening to any commentaries that aren't miscast. But
agreed.
But
there's a nice back and forth right there that they had.
I know. He's so goddamn good, dude. That's the thing. That's when this is the time you get a theater actor, because they're used to playing so big that doing something like this, and like you're gonna play like a fucking like a Henry V, but to the max. And he's like, oh sweet, like that's something they can really chew on, you know?
On this,
yeah,
motherfucker.
Exactly. But anyways, they said in his commentary that at this point he's over 100 years old.
Is what?
That the Emperor is over 100
Oh,
years
yeah,
old.
he's old. Look at the fucking he's got wrinkles on wrinkles,
Well,
man.
but we know how he gets those wrinkles because of episode 3. But then also he was like an old dude at that point, so that, and then a bunch of time has passed since.
Yeah,
so
they showed what happened in episode 3 to him. He took a road trip with Jar Jar Binks.
Yeah.
It was 3 weeks. When he exited the vehicle, that is what he looked like.
Well, you know how like Obama aged like so horribly over the 8 years he was president? Going on a road trip with Jar Jar Binks does the same thing to you, only to like a much higher level.
Yeah. Oh, look at all them zibber zabbers back there.
They are zibber zabbers. Those are apparently all like fishing rods.
Ah.
It's like they just like lined up a bunch of fishing rods and then
give me something. Throw something at me here. Anything.
Yeah. Something. Does that blow up? Oh, it doesn't matter. I'll leave it here.
Finals. Okay, so in this final battle section here, would you rather be rumbling on this planet or up fighting? Like, say there's more going on up in the Death Star. Like, they need another team. He's taking on. We got to go somewhere. Where'd you rather be?
Probably down here.
Okay, I'll go up to space then.
Okay. Oh, you just don't want to be with me?
No, I'm just saying we got to split up. You know, it makes the stakes higher. But you get the QDX, that sucks.
Yeah.
Maybe
Sorry.
after it's done, I can come down.
Okay, then why didn't you just choose? I'm happy doing the other one. You know how fucking accommodating I am. We're Canadians. I'm fine.
Maybe we can split it.
Yeah. Well, okay, guys, we got to switch. So just a reminder that's Dennis Lawson, who actually went to drama school with Ian McDiarmid, so you know roughly how.
No shit.
But also, we've talked about it before, is it Ewan McGregor's uncle?
Ewan, that's right.
That's right. So it's just like more little things. Ian McDiarmid worked with, uncle and nephew in separate Star Wars movies, which is interesting, don't you think? Come on, everybody cheer for me, right?
Hey. Oh, here we go. He's got his baby back here for a minute.
Yeah, I know, that was good.
And the Falcon.
This is actually the only movie that Han Solo is in where you don't see him in the cockpit of the. Did I say cockpit?
Yeah, you did.
Cockpit.
I was just gonna let you keep going. That's even worse.
Correct me if I'm fucking up.
In the cockpit.
It's a trap. That
It's trap.
in the script, it's a trick, And they were like, yeah, that didn't like if like people just looked at it and it's like, oh, that sounds dumb. Like they tricked us.
It's a trick.
I like the
And then they look at
Wylans.
it as just a big space prostitute.
I really like looking through all their stuff and seeing all the different types of ships that are actually there. This is the first movie where they bring up TIE fighters too. Like they've always been in the movies, but they never called them a TIE fighter.
Oh, right. So they actually labeled them.
That's the crazy thing about Star Wars. Like if you go through, I'll give you the list of names of everybody and everything, and then go through and hear how many times you actually hear them called.
Right.
You see the Emperor, he's never once called Emperor Palpatine or Darth Sidious, but it's all there. Like you would be able to get that on a toy.
Right, exactly.
Or whatever. It's because they gave them all the backstory. And that's like the crazy thing. Even all those back characters, like friggin' Max Rebo and stuff like that. There's no reason you needed to know Max Rebo's name.
It helps.
It helps me come.
It helps sell a lot of shit. Mm-hmm. It helps turn people into animals.
Hells yeah, baby.
Fuck's sakes.
More my servant.
What do you think that should go for the Millennium Falcon that Buddy's got? What do you think?
What do you mean?
Buddy's selling the Millennium Falcon. What do you think is a reasonable price to pay for an old Millennium Falcon?
I have no idea. Are they still in demand? Because I know the T-27s and
I don't know what kind it is.
weren't in demand. That's the problem. And then
I'm sure he knows.
And then do the modifications avoid the warranty and shit like this? These are all variables I need to know before I can
Void
give you.
the warranty was probably 30 fucking years ago.
Who knows? I don't know. That this is the problem.
It's the best warranty ever.
Yeah, well,
Like,
and
what the fuck?
technology is so good that they can guarantee their stuff for like a millennium now. Who fucking knows? Maybe we're at a place now where there's not, they're not instantly replacing something and making things obsolete. Like there's clearly no iPhones in this world where they're like, fuck you. Your phone doesn't work anymore because we built a new one.
Yeah, which you have to buy.
Yeah, exactly. If you don't buy this for
You don't even have a
$1,000
choice.
today,
More than your rent.
and they're putting them out faster than your upgrades are coming. So it's like you have to pay all
like
the
half
money in the world.
cycles or whatever they call them.
Yeah,
Yeah, get them by the numbers, baby.
they know what they're doing. That's actually one of the reasons that I've only owned one even numbered Samsung Galaxy phone. I owned the 3, the 5, the 7, then I owned the 8 for.
Right.
Oh no, I didn't own the 8.
That's too many
Carry on.
phones to be owning in the course of a life.
Yeah,
That's ridiculous, man. They're really gouging us.
They know how
See,
to
we
do
could live here with these guys. They didn't need no phones, man.
it. Yeah,
It's like she
But they
just
do have-
girly kicked that guy
but
and
they
he
do
killed
have-
him.
It's a weird trade-off. Yeah, they don't have to deal with the smartphone scenario, but they do have to have a shield generator up so a Death Star doesn't blow them up. You know what I mean?
There's
Well, actually, this one, the shield generator is for the Death Star, but you get the idea.
yeah. I didn't think that the UX had their own little force field.
Here,
unless it's made of sticks.
I'll give you a little hint as to what we're doing next, our next movie, based
This
on
for me?
No. You know what we're doing.
I could have forgotten.
Yeah, maybe we'll see.
Ah!
My hint might confuse you more than it helps. But
Sexually?
yeah, hopefully.
All
The next movie that we're doing, the person who's in this movie, so that was Cousin It just flying from there.
Oh, no.
The person who's in this movie and the next movie, in the next movie, they're also part of a rebellion on another planet.
Oh.
Oh, that's so sad, eh?
Oh.
This is. And
He's
this
not
is-
the dead one, I don't think. I think he's
No,
orange.
I think he is. I don't
He's
know.
orange.
We'll find. I think the orange one comes to get him. I love that it doesn't work. I found that very funny, actually.
Oh,
But
there's
this
a
is
real
very,
explosion.
this is very
Boom.
fog of war, though, eh? Like this is that kind of like, oh my god, like the shit's going down. Like,
See how they
like,
cute now? They're fucking
yeah.
killing dudes.
like no, none of them are dead.
I would
They've
prefer
literally
to
only
giggle
knocked
at
down.
cuteness while I die.
Yeah.
Like, you're killing me. You're so cute. Oh God. Oh.
Look
You
at how he
kill
uses his little
yourself.
hands.
Look at him digging into my intestines all cute, like, oh, he's eating them.
I'm looking for a spot here because apparently there's a spot where Han grabs her tit, and I'm trying to, and I want to see it.
Try by any means necessary to get
Yeah.
the door open.
I know it's after she gets shot, and it's very accidentally grabs her boob, and then you see him like instantly course correct. Like you're just like, whoop. So sorry. I need to get one of those, man. I need to get the walkers. I have so many plans for when my wife leaves me of where I'm gonna put all of these friggin' Star Wars toys. That's why I got rid of my fish tank. I'm getting ready.
Hey, yeah.
Yeah. I just realized that I hadn't had a fish in it in a while, and I wasn't cleaning it, and it was just all getting all good. So I was like, I'll just.
I
get
like
rid
the
of
image of those splintering trees. That was neat
That was
looking,
good.
actually.
They probably legitimately blew up.
It
those
looks
trees
like they
'cause
did,
fucking
yeah.
Hollywood was allowed to. Oh my god, that was like a lot of eye makeup. Was
I
that
know,
David Bowie?
I think it was.
Ground control today.
I think it was
Tom.
what's her name, the girl that played the Mystic in.
Oh fucking! I know who you're talking about the.
What the hell is her name?
I
She's
don't
in
know.
everything.
Yeah.
She looks like Florence from Florence and the Machine.
You know who we're talking about.
Fuck,
It
who
doesn't
cares?
matter. It's just I'm too tired to remember all the names.
Are
today.
they gonna have? They should have like a sweet. You're gonna have to tell me everything. You're gonna have to wear a GoPro the whole time you're at thing. Oh, did you hear this? I thought that I heard that they are making Disney 24 hours.
Oh,
I read that somewhere. I totally forgot to say this before.
I didn't hear that.
Yeah, I will. Yeah, look it up. They didn't send you the memo because I'm more important than you, George Lucas.
I don't know how I feel about that.
I think that's amazing.
I think like it would be helpful as
Yes.
far as crowd control and stuff like that.
Yes. What's your problem with it? What do you care?
I don't know. It's just
I can fucking stay up all night, man.
yeah.
Go there at midnight, end at 7, like right.
Yeah.
But I wonder if they will charge in blocks. They'll probably charge with blocks of time because it would be killer if you could get full 24 hours.
Which would probably mess you up because now instead of you would never have the length of day that you could have now.
Well, that would be cheap.
That's the thing though. It would be either that or the overnight block would be a much smaller block than the day block.
Right.
It's got to be one or the other, right? So
I wonder if it would be more expensive for the night block because it would be
well,
there would be less people.
well, and also legally they have to pay the people more money.
Night shift.
Yeah.
They're Disney. What are you worried about? Fucking
Well,
Mickey's pockets.
But that's where the money. But I'm just saying that's they're going to.
I don't
try
know
and
whether
make up
that's a
for the
real
money.
thing, but I read that somewhere.
I feel like that would never happen.
It seems like too much.
Also, they need downtime for ride inspections.
Yeah, no,
which
no,
means,
exactly.
Which means you would be like, yeah, we're going at night. It's gonna be awesome. Oh,
Well,
half the rides are shut
Well,
down.
no, it
because-
would probably be like a rolling blackout, which you would
Yeah.
have it on the thing. They'd be like 12
Yeah.
o'clock. This ride is maintenance, so come back
Yeah.
at 3. This one, you know.
Yeah, but it's.
That seems like too much work. But I'm telling you right now,
Yeah.
this is a thing they're discussing.
I don't.
They didn't
I
say
don't
it for
buy into
nothing.
it. Yeah.
Oh, you'll buy into it. You'll buy into it twice.
I would do. Trust me, I would do it. Like I feel like that's how it would go down. Is I would just bring you to Disney with us, and then like when the kids, like when I'll go with the kids and that during the day, and then everybody goes to bed, and then I'll just go right back with you.
Oh my God, you mess. Oh my Lord.
He
He looks like the bathroom buddy. Look at all those things popping out.
Totally.
Look at him.
Oh my God, we got to put that
Toothpaste
photo.
shooting out.
Oh, please. Reminding myself to put that photo up on Instagram of the two things side by side.
Bathroom buddy.
I thought you just said meth room, and then I was like, what's happening? We just make a big twist?
Meth gloom clubby.
I always see, it's always funny because you know
Listen
how
to the
these-
music.
I know.
This is worse than Platoon.
Oh, here's the spot. So the other one did die, but this is the first time. Then the one gets up. Oh, this is so sad. Come on, let's go. What's going on? Oh, he went into rigor mortis like pretty goddamn fast. He's all stiff.
He makes it
Oh,
Wait.
and just the.
right there.
Depression.
He goes like, oh.
Oh, and he kissed him. Oh.
Oh, look at that scene so good. Look at goosebumps.
Oh, look at that, man. That's awesome.
Oh, that scene kills me.
Mm-hmm. I actually like this strategy a lot too. You're gonna get like right up against those friggin' destroyers. So the Death Star is gonna fucking light us up.
I can't do this anymore.
Oh, you're gonna be okay?
But fucking Ewok.
Here, want to squeeze a thumb? It's all I have to offer. Like in life. Oh my God, you're so strong. Oh my God, there was a black pilot. I loved it. It's so rare you see black.
Your
other
hands
people
smell
of
like
color.
another man's genitals.
No, those are mine.
Oh.
No, this is just food. I don't wash my hands.
Or your genitals.
No, I've washed them once.
Yeah,
It was like I was like
look, they're all just looking out. Hey, Dad and the granddad looking out the window.
I can't stop staring at his eyes. I don't know if it's like digital grading
Whose?
from the Emperor, like because you can see it's almost like there's like a light, a highlighted light on his eyes because it's like his whole head is in shadow. So I have a feeling that digitally they just lit up his eyes.
Right. You know what?
A
Do
little
it.
bit.
I think your thumb fucked my hand up.
How did I?
I don't know. It feels weird now. What'd you do to me?
I literally just was a thumb
It's
for you.
burning.
Oh, I have holy water on my hand.
Like,
So
no,
sorry.
seriously, something weird happened
man.
there.
I don't know. Well, it's hard to squeeze tiny things.
Grabbed a
That's why
thumb
I
in a
don't jerk
while.
off much. Wait.
That's why he has other people jerk him.
Hold on now.
I'll fucking
Why-
turn your lightsaber.
My favorite,
Wham!
my favorite thing is that was essentially in his arm's reach, and he still used the force to get
I
it.
like that right there when he laughs, because it's like the laugh is coming from his laugh is coming from somewhere else.
Yeah, it's really
like
bad.
it's really kind of creepy.
It's weird acoustics in that room. That's
He's
the
a
problem.
ventriloquist. He's a big Jeff Dunham fan.
I was just gonna say, hey, let me bring one of my buddies out of the trunk. I honestly
Oh
think
no!
that's the part I hate the most about Jeff Dunham is he's like, oh yeah, by the way, these are all real people. But then he'll do it's that and then the obligatory your hand up my butt joke.
Yeah.
That every friggin'
That's the classic joke.
I know, but it's so fucking like it just became to a point like the first guy who did it was a genius, and then everybody after that was a hack. You know what I mean?
They always have their own way of doing it. Oh, yes, you're the guy says the guy with his hand up might took us. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah.
whatever.
And he's like, well, I said it as an old man character, and you said it as like a girl character, so it's different.
Oh, don't you kill even one more of these Ewoks, you fucks.
Remember when Bill Cosby did the ventriloquism act, and he had a young girl? You see, you gonna do this, and then she wakes up. She's like, "What's going on?" And then
Where
like,
am
it's not a
I?
puppet.
You're not my mom.
Oh my god, that one
Yahoo!
Ewok, that one Ewok was Wesley Snipes black. Like, look at how
my
dark
God.
he is.
Oh, I heard that Marvel's thinking about making a Blade movie with him.
I don't know if it will be with him. They've talked
But
about
it's,
doing it.
you know, it's
They've
he's
also-
still Blade. Like,
Yeah.
he's still got the moves, like, guaranteed.
Yeah,
He's still doing all the kung fu. How do you think he fights up the tax man?
I think the only reason I wouldn't do it with him is he was notoriously so bloody difficult to work with.
Is he?
Yeah, people said he was a fucking nightmare. You listen to Triple H's interviews from
That's
doing
awful
Blade
to
Trinity,
hear.
is because he was in character. He was Blade. You could not refer to him as anything else. And
Really?
and he's like, and you couldn't speak to him as a person. And it's like, which is fine. You want to be all method, whatever. But you're in a fucking superhero.
It's a strange.
movie, you know
I
what
was
mean?
just gonna say it's a strange movie to go method on.
That would be
Oh
like
yeah, that's a good idea.
that would be like going method on Short Circuit. They actually tested. You know, what I
Johnny
mean?
Five, consummate professional.
Oh, I was gonna say Steve Gutenberg.
Oh.
He was like, he's like, I lived amongst computer programmers for like
Yeah.
6 months. I dated Ali Sheedy just to see what that would be like. They did the test on, if you've never seen the Star Wars episodes of Mythbusters, you have to see them.
I have seen a couple of them.
They did.
Oh shit!
They did the test of the. See right there. Did you see the?
Oh, I just literally missed
He
it.
literally he put his hand
Fuck.
he put his hand forward and he realized he touched her boob and then he moved it to her shoulder immediately.
She's like, you touch my titty, again, I'll shoot you.
Yeah, and that's why he loved it. He's hand on the boob. I love you. No, but they did the test where
Oh, blood.
they had the two things smash the sides of the ATST here. And so what they used, because obviously one of these doesn't exist in real life, so they got an armored car and then they cut down cut down like a redwood tree, like, because that's what's there, and they had two on either side and they just came down on either side of it, and they thought, they were like, oh, it's gonna maybe put a little dent in it. It flattened it.
Yeah, it fucking like.
Because like just the weight. This was the best of all of the lightsaber fights. This was the most intense one of the original trilogy, because I mean
Ooh.
that's something that just didn't exist.
He fell. Mm-hmm. He's getting old.
Yeah, but this is, well, and just dude's getting better too. But it's the one thing that was really lacking, and the only
lightsaber fights would have been better. Would have been awesome if they were real beasts.
Yeah.
Like right here, they should have been fighting for
yeah.
5 minutes.
Because like that's one thing I like. Find me somebody who complains about the lightsaber fights in the prequels, and I'll find you just somebody who's nitpicking it.
Yeah.
like because those lightsaber
But
fights were out of this world.
We don't need another big fight here.
No.
We need the Empire one.
Yes.
That one could have been bigger, but that one was pretty cool too. And they're jumping around, and
It was good. It's just like
it's not like the ones where you see them jumping all over the stadium and they're throwing fucking
I'm not even worried
pieces
about.
of the thing at each other.
I'm not even
and-
worried about that. I'm just saying, just straight up lightsaber dueling. Like they're just basically going back and forth like two guys with great swords, whereas the guys in like think about the episode 3 like epic lightsaber fight where the two of them are like flipping them around.
Oh,
and, like,
yeah.
it's one of the best like fight scenes going. It's outstanding.
Yes.
And so, I mean, this is missing a little bit of choreography, and not that like the guy is not a great choreographer and stuff like that, but he's choreographing. He's choreographing a completely different type of fight.
Right.
He's, he's choreographing a fight for a sword.
Are you trying to say that word as many times as possible?
Yeah. Yeah.
Choreographing?
Yeah. Choreographing.
Corey Haim?
Corey Haim. The two Corys. The two Corys. Corey Haim and choreography. Sorry, Corey Feldman.
Yeah,
you
you're
got
out.
weird.
You're out, bro. I'll let Michael Jackson talk.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you're not
That's
on
a
the
cool
right.
shot.
You're not on the
Boom.
right side of history. That is really cool, actually.
What a fucking rumble, man.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, like they always say too in these like sword fights and stuff. In real life,
Mm-hmm.
they wouldn't be that long before somebody won.
No, well, because a simple cut and you've already like knocked the guy's ability down.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, you cut his elbow. Well, guess what he needs really badly to be good at sword fighting? That elbow to be in tip-top shape.
It's funny that George Lucas put all these things in there, but never touched up the action scenes. Never touched up the lightsaber battles.
I think only because that would require flat-out reshoots.
Like way too much. Right.
Yeah.
This way he can just add things in or
Yes.
throw it in the corner or
Yeah.
add a fart noise.
That'd be amazing. If just like a couple of scenes where it was just somebody was walking by and you just heard like...
Totally. They should have the fart version of everything.
Curtis Booger Armstrong just shows up.
Curtis Booger Armstrong.
We have to
Fucking love
we got to
it.
do one more Revenge of the Nerds. We got to do part 2.
Let's
and
do
then
Nerds
just-
in Love.
Oh, no, I'm not doing Nerds in Love.
I don't even know if I saw it.
I'm gonna contact my friends over at Sequel Rights. We could do Nerds in Love with them, but I'm not doing it on this show.
Nerds
Not
in
sullying my
Love.
show, but I'll happily ruin somebody else's.
That's the spirit.
Says the guys who did Super Mario Brothers twice.
Yep. Third time's the charm, buddy.
Yeah. This is face. I do not care for this face that he's making. It's like I know that
His
he's
thoughts are betraying him.
I know that he's being given the kind of direction for an emotion that doesn't exist. He's like, you're scared.
Like, yeah, is there?
You're scared and you're nervous and you're trying to suppress a thought.
It's like,
What? What are you talking about?
And a little gassy.
All right, just picture somebody that you're really not attracted to is giving you a hand job. What kind of face would you make there? That's the
There
face
it
he
is.
made.
Next shot.
There was apparently an extended scene when he finds out that Leia is his sister. You find out from Yoda that Obi-Wan always wanted to tell him, but Yoda stopped him from telling him
Right.
and stuff like that. So it doesn't really matter. Like that's really just one Jedi throwing another under the bus.
Like, I'm
though.
sure that he would just, he's goading you when he brings the sister up. Like, Jesus, man.
I really, really like, because just the brightness, and I think the remastering was a really big deal for this too, because these would have been so dull in the theatrical version, like the dullness of the.
I'm sure at the time they would have looked fine.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like the color contrast and stuff like this. So this is actually a point where, because there were rumors and speculation that he was actually going to turn to the dark side in this movie, and the whether or not he was going to turn back was the crux of the movie. And like, I think there was a point where maybe this would have been an early scene in the movie where he turns to the dark side, kills Vader, and then comes back. Like, that wasn't officially ever scripted, but it was something that was kind of tossed around.
Right.
You know what I mean? So,
Look at the brow on him, eh?
it's everything, man. And again, it's something that makes me so mad because the details of his face in episode 3 are so much worse. Like, it's just so, like, and I know it's supposed to look different because it's a different time and stuff like that, but it just looked so much better in this one. It looked, for lack of a better term, it looked more realistic.
Right.
You know what I mean?
I wish that we were like in one of those sitcom families where when we dressed up like a character, it was like movie worthy. Like when the Big Bang Theory is going to Comic-Con, it's like, wow, look at your regular everyday human being costumes. Like, what the fuck?
That would be pretty all right.
Yeah. Or like the Goldbergs or something. It's always like, look at this fucking costume, man.
I actually
like,
watched my first full episode.
I love his
of the
run,
Goldbergs
eh?
today. I know. And he's
the fucking Harrison
the
run
king.
going.
Yeah, exactly. And that's not a character thing because he looks exactly the same
It's all that run reminds me of like when I know other people have like mentioned it in their bits or whatever, but it's like totally true when like somebody is like old people do it.
Yeah.
Like when you're like, oh, I'm showing you that I'm moving fast. like the light's turning.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to show to you that I'm actually moving, but all they actually do is just kind of do this with their arms. They just kind of make it look, they do the actions of running, only you're still going exactly the same speed you were before doing that.
He's running
But he's actually running.
Yes, but he's running kind of like Phoebe and Friends.
Yeah, he's running like there's the end all be all run.
I remember having kind of an almost like one of my first adult reactions to a movie was when he like lightnings him, because it's the first time you ever see somebody do that in any of these movies. And I remember seeing that and just thinking, whoa, hey now. Like, just like, what do we have here?
So you can't show all your shit, you know.
This
you
is
gotta
quite
have some
the turn of events.
surprises.
Mm-hmm.
Like when Ant-Man grows gigantic.
Yeah. Power of the dark side.
Whoa.
This is so good. I'd turn.
That's a neat gear. I like that. That would be cool to go as for Comic-Con. Luke with his dark glove on.
Yeah. That'd be all right.
It looks like it would be easy to pull off.
Yeah, the glove should probably come right off. It's just a glove.
If it does not fit.
If it does not fit, just get a different glove.
Fucking right.
Gloves aren't expensive. See, this is one of those bits.
Oh, he's thinking.
I would have. It's hard to say what I would have done. This no thing that they add here
Oh, God.
is angering.
Well, no,
but-
because he does it again. Remember when he turns into...
Yes.
Maybe that's why they did it.
I don't know. But, like, I understand. I think that the need to say something, because originally he says nothing. And he just, like, looks at him like it's like he's on the spectrum and just, like, picks him up and throws him. And it's like, well, that's weird, too. So, but, I mean, like, I don't... like, this wasn't the fix. I think there was a different no. There was a different no that could have occurred, I think.
Right.
So, like, see, like that. Like, what do you mean no? Like, maybe just that no. Maybe don't have...
They didn't add that, did they? That was in there.
Yes, that was never in there
Oh, he
before.
just picked him up before, all quiet, like...
Like, that was added, and that wasn't even added the first time. That was added the second time.
Did
when
they
the Blu-ray
add
came out.
the skull there to his face when it was he was being electrocuted there? Did you see Darth?
No, that was
his face
there.
had a skull. All
That
of
was...
a sudden.
Yeah, his X-rays, baby.
So wouldn't technically the moment
Or
that
is this
Luke...
fishing rod? Yeah, this is the fishing rod.
The moment that Luke...
His hand's just still chilling there. That's...
The wires should have been sparking.
Yeah.
So the moment that Luke did not turn to the dark side, did the Emperor fail?
Yeah.
Because then he was going to get tossed over regardless. His whole shit was betting on Luke turning.
Yeah. Yeah, especially because he had beaten...
Yeah. And so the moment he didn't turn, I'd be like, oh, fuck, you lied, man. Like...
Well, and
it's my son, and I'm having second thoughts.
And this was the really interesting thing, too, because this is when they start to explain the whole prophecy thing from the prequels and that, too. And they're like, in the end, he did do exactly what the prophecy said. So, a prophecy misread could have been. But essentially, yeah, he did exactly what he was said he would do, except that it was just like, oh, yeah, by the way, there's a twist. It's going to suck for a really long time first.
Beep, 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 beep.
Pew, pew.
My mustache.
Yeah, all the mustache people, they don't survive.
Tell my wife my mustache looks awesome.
I'd be really worried if I was Lando. I'm like, I'm noticing a lot of mustaches aren't surviving.
A lot of not even just facial hair, mustaches in general.
So you're seeing more of the type of TIE fighter that Vader used in the first one.
They just lost DirecTV.
Yeah, exactly. Because all the other TIE fighters had like the flatter outsides, and then his was specifically different, so you'd be able to know which one he was in. But now I'm thinking like his was the prototype, and now it's just the one they build for people, which would make sense, I suppose, right? Oh no, our deflector shield.
It'd be a cool outfit too.
There's...
Everything I see, I want to wear to Comic-Con. I wish I had my own wardrobe guy.
I know. Well, some things are just like you look at them and you're like, oh, that would be so easy. Or you look at this one and it would be so cool, and like that kind of thing. Or this one, it would just be so complex it would blow people's minds.
Oh fuck!
I like this too.
Whoa!
Yeah, I like this just little sit back scene that he is. I did it. Tim Rose, who plays Admiral Akbar. Now, Admiral Akbar is like a puppeted, for the most part, character. But Tim Rose actually does the voice of him. He's a very interesting character because he was in The Dark Crystal. He was TikTok in Return to Oz. And he is Howard the Duck.
No way!
So we got a lot, like...
Nobody batted an eye that Luke is bringing out Darth. They're too like scattering.
Too self-preservation.
Yeah.
like you would think somebody, because nobody knows that the Emperor is dead at this point. News, like I'm sure it would have made the nightly news on the thing, but
They
it
probably
was blown up.
felt him die.
Mm-hmm.
The oppressive air probably fucking laughed, and the other guys did.
Yeah.
I bet you some of the guys getting into their booth would have been like, "Hey, look at this! Look at this!"
It would be
Like,
amazing.
holy
You see them have this nice moment, and they just guys put their arms around each other, and they're like, "Wow."
Yeah.
It's like, I wish I hadn't left my son on that other planet to come build this Death Star, because I'm not going to get this moment with him.
Maybe he can go back.
No,
Oh, here
Death
he
Stars
is.
blow up pretty big. Nobody survives.
And he is not James Earl Jones.
He's missing a ton of head. It
He's
looks
all
bad.
fucked up. He does look
Actually,
like
that's something they did.
Up.
They did pretty well on the episode 3 when they burnt him and stuff like that, as far as making his face look like this face.
Right.
Like, it's obviously it's a less aged version with fresher, tissue damage and stuff like that. But I bought it anyways. So yeah, they have a lot of arguments when you actually see.
Was that
Hayden
like
at the end.
the one? Does he deserve a hero's funeral after what he's done? Does one act redeem him from all the bad shit that he did?
No. I would say that this is a personal victory for Luke.
Right.
This is, I did turn him, and that did turn the tides. I don't think he is given.
Yeah, they burn him.
Yeah, well, he burns him. Nobody else is there.
True.
But
True.
But on top of that, I don't think in any of the extended stuff that I came across after the fact, people still talk about Vader as the legendary bad guy. I don't even know that many people know that he's the one who killed the Emperor. They just know the Emperor's dead.
Right.
So he was just a bad dude, and
That's a big one, though. Killing the Emperor is a big one.
it's a big one, and and it would have been cool for him to get some props. I almost feel like Luke just took it. He just took that thunder. This is
My God, this is right out of Star Fox, Matt. They stole this totally. Like that one level where you go around.
You just
Fuck,
made me
man.
feel like you just made me feel like you said that they stole this from Star
No,
Fox.
no,
and I was
no.
just like, what? But yeah, no,
You know, George Lucas has been
kinda-
time traveling.
Of course he has.
Fucking guy hasn't had an original idea
Mm-hmm.
since he stole it from himself.
Whoa, time loop.
Oh,
Oh, speaking of time,
that was a little harder than just throwing those balls in the one.
yeah. Oh,
At
for
least they
sure.
were trying a little harder on this
Yeah,
one.
well, you really had to negotiate through the.
They probably
thing
should have
and all.
blocked the whole thing off, maybe. Like, no way to get to it.
Yeah, well, at least in this one, like the last one was, this unbreakable thing has a tiny little flaw that you have to be perfect at.
Which they explained very well in
yes.
that other one.
Yeah, they did a much better. They
Fucking
did,
right.
Well, they did a good job of explaining how it got
Yeah,
there. anyways,
yeah.
Which is cool. But this one was, hey, it's not complete, so you can get there. Which is why
dig it.
it had a shield around it, so you couldn't get to it. But then they killed the shield. I'll just be 9 number. Reminds me
What
of.
would you, because I've heard some yeehaws. What would you be yell after you blew up the Death Star?
Oh God! Oh my God! What did we? No! What? No! Did you? I
think I do, like,
and then I
maybe,
just start making out with the first person I looked at.
whoever it is.
Mm-hmm. Well-
I think I just do like a, like a battle
Yeah, this was the other
battle tongue.
Yeah, this was the other part of Lucas's excuse to make them brother and sister, which again was a complete afterthought. It was decided for this movie because he was done, and because she was never supposed to be the sister. But then they also realized, he wraps up that love triangle quite nicely.
It sure does.
Sure does. It's like, oh,
It
okay.
works out sometimes.
One of the one person's like sexually out of the picture. Sweet.
So when he says like there is another, at that moment they weren't talking about Leia. There was another one they were going to talk about.
Yeah.
Which they abandoned. Good.
This movie was meant to end with him going off into the sunset, basically knowing that he's got a sister that he has to go find. She was actually sent to be trained as a Jedi, though. So he's
What
going to
is
go
it?
hunt her down, and she's already going to be a Jedi.
Right. I love this. He's like, I'm cool with it. He's like, oh, well, you would have went for him though if
That
he
is-
wasn't your brother.
I'm gonna
Whatever.
Anytime I've ever found out, though, when I thought that somebody was attracted to somebody else and they were actually attracted to me, that's exactly the face I made. Now, thankfully, I'm a coward who only talks to people over the internet, so nobody ever had to see that face.
Oh, that's like everybody.
This is actually a scene that I also this edition that they made, and I mean, people can have their own feelings about it, but when they add all the other cities from all the other movies and stuff like that, where you like see Naboo and you see
Right.
Coruscant. I like that a lot because this is a galaxy celebration. We are all out from under the
You're right. Well, how do they know it happened? The word got out?
word will have gotten out by the rebellion probably spread the word.
Right.
Right. So, I mean, HoloNets and things like that. Mark Hamill actually suggested to George Lucas that the last shot of him would be him putting on Darth Vader's mask.
Whoa.
And then he's like, well, we want to keep it. And he's like, and again, he's like, we're finished here. He's like, we're going to happy ending. He's like, we're not, he's like,
we're going to ask more questions at the end, right?
Yeah, exactly. When we have no intention. So now we're looking through.
Could
So
just be
here's
trying it on.
Yeah.
I mean, nothing.
Yeah, exactly. Wow, it fits. We were the same size.
Oh, this is all added.
Yeah,
What planet is this?
This is Coruscant.
Is that where they have the pod races?
No, this is where the Jedi Temple was. This is Naboo.
Hey, this is going to be one of the places that you get to go to, isn't it?
No,
In the Star Wars land?
No, it looks. Oh, sorry. This is Naboo. The other one was Tatooine or whatever. See, and you even hear.
We free.
Yeah.
Drop the fucking nuke on that one.
Oh, sorry. This is Coruscant. I'm messing them all up.
You don't even know.
This
Have
is
you even
Coruscant.
seen Star Wars before?
Yes, I know. I'm sorry. I just was thinking about like ones in certain orders.
They
and I
should
just
show
didn't have the order.
Zion.
But this gets my thing going. It's so cliche and whatever, but it always
Does
works.
Disneyland
on
have
me.
fireworks every night?
Yeah,
Holy fuck.
at every park.
Jesus.
And different things, and also some other thing like they have at Hollywood Studios. They
Oh
have,
my God! Look at this.
At Hollywood Studios, they have a John Williams Star Wars fireworks show, and then they have a totally different light show that has like water features and stuff like that. It's amazing. Those were all dead people. Those are the helmets of dead people that we're talking about here. Look at the white dudes dancing amongst the like.
Where am I? Where's Tebow the Ewok?
But look at I get so legit emotional when all these people like come back together because like thinking about war, having not done it myself, but imagine like people you are so close to all going off in different directions, and almost certainly all of you are planning to go to your death, and you get to come back together, and it's like wow, I get emotional.
And nobody died.
And then now Han's really cool with Luke because he's like, holy shit, we're not competing, we're not
Now
cock
he's
blocking
cool
each other
with him,
anymore.
yeah.
He's like, I always liked you, but now I like you. Hey, Wedge is the only X-Wing pilot other than Luke to make it through every movie.
Nice.
Every single
Good for him.
So here's the big thing that I remember hearing the groan. So they changed it. And two arguments that George Lucas made. Now, feel about them how you will. I sort of see where he's coming from, but just looking at Hayden Christensen upsets me.
Yeah.
That's my only issue with it.
Yeah.
But basically, his things were he wasn't Anakin Skywalker. When he became Darth Vader, he stopped being Anakin Skywalker. So Anakin Skywalker comes back. The other argument, which is the better argument, is that Sebastian Shaw, as you see him when he was the guy who was there, he never ever looked like that.
Right.
Because he never got to age like that because he lost his arms and legs and he was all burnt. So he couldn't be just a normal, like it's like unless you're doing like a Matrix like ideal projection of yourself type thing, right? So
That's what I always thought would happen when you died.
yeah, you get all your shit back. But the point is he never
All
aged.
my hit points.
Yeah, it's like he never aged to a point where he had all his body parts. So it was like
It's a bummer.
yeah. But man, that was it. So
Woo!
that's the first trilogy down, and Todd's gonna be really upset when I remind him next year that we're doing the first one.
Oh God, I know. Here we go.
But we'll have some fun with it. I think my goal for it is to not shy away from the shit that we don't like, but to point out the things that I think they did right.
Right.
And the thing, or the way, like, because there's some things that, like, some people were just out of this world, really, like, good in that movie, and some, like, and some concepts and some things.
Some of the action scenes are really killer.
And then some things that were good ideas that they just whiffed on.
The score was amazing.
The score was out of this world. Phil Tippett, who directed Starship Troopers 2, which I just recently watched for no reason. Ugh. It was the only movie he's ever directed, by the way. But
good for him.
But let's talk a little bit about the extended. Whoa. Yeah, I know the stars just
up.
like
the fuck was that?
The stars weren't aligned for a moment.
Yeah, they just
wonked
out.
But the so the extended beyond this, we've seen it in books, comics, and radio plays and things like this. The essential story is that I'm not even going to get to Mara Jade and stuff like that, who becomes Luke's lover, and they end up having kids together and all this stuff. But the basic idea is that Han and Leia have 3 kids. Jason, Jaina, and Anakin, sorry.
Atticus.
That wasn't even me like getting the name wrong. That was just me not using my tongue to say my ends.
Oh, yeah, well,
So I was just fucking up. Ralph McQuarrie apparently quit this movie because he was so fucking sick of like the slog of it all.
Right.
And he hated the Ewok concepts and stuff like that. So he's like, I'm done. And he just walked away. And it was the same thing, like so many different bits and stuff. So many like assistant directors took over 4 parts of directing for Richard Marquand because Richard Marquand hated some of the actors and the actors hated him right back.
That's nice, eh?
And then apparently George Lucas and him were like screaming at each other back and forth. Other people quit. The original DP quit because he was on Richard Marquand's side, and so he didn't like the way George Lucas was treating him. And then the original producer of the first 2 movies was actually a close friend of George Lucas, and George Lucas fired him because episode 5 went so over budget.
Right.
And so it's just like, it's so much like backbiting in the background.
Oh,
but anyways, going
right.
back to the extended thing. So Han and Leia have had 3 kids, and they're all trained to be Jedis. Now, in the radio plays I watch, you never see them get beyond like a very young age. They're like all like toddlers essentially, like 2 toddlers and a baby, because the 2 are twins. And excuse me, that's Joe Johnston. That is the Joe Johnston who directed Captain America, the first Avenger,
No shit.
and the Jurassic Park 3.
No fucking way.
Sorry, I keep getting distracted by that stuff. So Luke is traveling around looking for certain like he's looking for Jedi and things like that, and he's uncovering Jedi. You find out that the Emperor is dead, but not dead, because he's keeping clones of himself, because using his dark energy takes so much out of him, very much like it does in episode 3, how he kind of like melts away and stuff like that. So he's literally killing himself by he's using so much power, it's so unnatural that it's killing him. So he's created clones of himself. This was a part of the whole Clone Wars thing. He's had a deal made ahead of time that he's going to be taken care of, and he transfers himself into the other clones. A couple of names here of some of the other Ewoks that we're looking at. Felix Silla, that was the one who played Cousin It, who was also the flying
Tony
one.
Cox, yeah.
There's Tony Cox. And Kieran Shaw, who was a body double for Elijah Wood in the Lord of the Rings movies.
That one name there.
And he was also
Purvis, Katie Purvis or something.
Yeah, there's a bunch. So where else do we go from these? So yeah, you find out he's got these clones, and he's building the next essential Death Star. It's a new thing.
Death Star 3.
They keep doing these different ones. Like there's one that was like the Galaxy Gun, which essentially it sends like a missile that can blow up a planet, but it sends it at like light speed, and so he stays in one spot in the galaxy.
He can fire missiles wherever.
And then he can shoot it wherever. And they're traveling at light speed, so it's not like you can even intercept them or something like that. And that becomes a big to do. So I mean, that's
I guess so.
Well, this is why like
they love their doomsday devices, I guess, huh?
But well, and that's exactly it. And it's what really interests me when people complain about things about the new sequels, because they're like, oh, I can't believe they made this decision. I'm like, it's because they literally did that.
Yeah,
like, that was what the plan always was. And it's like, so had George Lucas done it, you would have been like, oh yeah, that's fucking awesome, right? Well, they wouldn't have, because they just want to complain about whatever Star Wars.
No, exactly. It doesn't matter
so
what
it doesn't
it
matter.
is.
And then the other, the other part of all of this is, okay, so their worlds are getting like destroyed and stuff like that. Very similar to the way that the New Republic, their planets get blown up by the Starkiller base, and now Luke's trying to find a way to get to them, and the Emperor's trying to get to Leia's kids, because if he can transfer his body into the body of a Jedi child, like he would be like, it would be like
he would like possess them.
Yeah, his plan is to
1-800-PHONE-THX.
Remember, we did that once.
Oh, that's right.
And nothing happened.
George Lucas answered.
Right. Yeah.
He tried to disguise his voice, but come on.
But the So anyway, so all that stuff happens, and then the final solution for this particular storyline is that Luke joins the dark side. His goal is to join the dark side, and they mirror it with another, like an old Republic radio play,
Right.
where a guy's like, the only way to beat the dark side is to join the dark side, and he ends up being taken over and becomes one of the new Dark Lords of the Sith. So now this one, he becomes the new Darth Vader, and they actually, like, they describe images of him with the helmet on and stuff like that, except he doesn't have it usually. And what happens at one point is they all come in to rescue him, and they get him out, and they're like, so they're on the planet Biss, which is like the centermost place in the galaxy, and it's like the Emperor's kind of home turf,
Right.
like in this point. And so they get him out, and they're like, oh man, like, I can't believe we got you out. And he's like, you guys don't understand the work I'm trying to do. He's like, this is going to beat everything. But he's acting more and more bad, and he's literally teaching them how to kill the rebels and stuff like that. And so it's all that stuff. And then finally they're like, no, we're all done with that now, and it's all good. And he's like, there's just one problem. And they're like, what? And he's like, I'm still on Biss. And he disappears.
Whoa.
So he like astral projected himself, which is exactly what he did in fucking Last Jedi. And they're like, oh,
People
he
hate-
can fucking
I know,
astral project
why
himself.
not? Why couldn't they do something like that?
Yeah,
Their whole
it's-
thing is based on like mental powers and like.
Yeah, you mean when he was 19-year-old Jedi, he only took like 2 months worth of lessons.
Yeah.
He wasn't very good, but now that he's been doing it for 40 years by
He
himself,
can astral
fucking
project himself.
figure it out,
Totally.
right?
Totally.
So they did that sort of thing, but he does eventually come out of it, and you find out that he's basically been like back programming some of their shit, and it's all like self-destructing. And it's like basically they had a system in place where it was like one ship was controlling all the ships, and they were all like autonomous and stuff like that. Like there's a lot to it. I should give them to when you're going to be out on the boats and stuff.
Yeah.
I should give you all those, because there's
Yeah, that would be
hours
killer. No, I dig
of
it.
stuff. But I
need
encourage
shit
you
to
guys-
read.
I encourage you. No, it's some. This
not
is all
porno.
This is all radio play stuff.
Actual words.
So you don't even have to read words.
Whoa.
It's the best. But then there's so much more beyond that. There's the whole Mara Jade thing.
This is canon.
No, all of this stuff is not canon anymore.
Ooh,
It's all the legends stuff. Yeah, it all used to get it used to have to get put by George Lucas for approval, but he was approving fucking everything, which is why Disney was like, okay, we can't approve everything.
Yeah, because come on, jeez.
And I think because people were like pissed because they're like, oh, you only want your own stuff. I'm like, do you know how hard it is to create new shit in a world where stuff's already been created?
Because everybody's just, because the problem is like everybody wants something new, and they get something new, they don't like it. And if you give them something old, they don't like it.
Yeah. And that's exactly what would have happened, because it's like, okay, all that stuff is canon. So now we have to tell that story. Well, that story has already been told. You're lazy. Okay, we're going to tell our own story. Well, you've changed everything. So
Yeah, this is not what I love about the whole thing.
So it's like what I like. It's almost like the whole, like the way they do Marvel, where it's like, hey, this is like universe, whatever, right? It's like just have them exist in different universes.
Yeah, fuck
and just
it.
accept it. All right, guys, that's it. If anybody wants to call in, again, we do have an actual phone number now.
We're not fucking around.
We're
Call
not
the
fucking
number.
around. Long distance charges do apply, because I couldn't manage to get a toll free one. But it's just make it a quick call. It doesn't cost. Use a
Put it in between when it's like you're getting a collect call from. Throw your message in there, and then
yeah, exactly. There you go. Yeah,
love your show. You guys are great. See you.
Yeah, God is great. But yeah, so anyways, it's 289-769-3288. I was looking up what that spelled, and it was like a lot of weird, like eat too fat or something. Like it was like I can't remember exactly what they're. I'll write them down. I'll write down some combos and maybe let people, like, as a poll, decide.
I like that. That's a good idea.
What our thing is.
Yeah.
But call in if you have thoughts on the show. If you just want to say things that you potentially want to hear on a future episode, we'll probably play all of them, because I can't imagine the volume's going to be insurmountable.
Don't you? Oh, you watch.
Well, that's my challenge to our listeners. So call in.
How will we ever dig through all of these calls?
Hey, if we're recording a mini episode and somebody calls, we will take the call.
Absolutely.
As we're recording.
Absolutely.
So
you have to put out there when we are doing a mini-sode,
yeah.
so somebody can call.
Okay, we'll do that. That's
Fucking
fine.
A, yeah.
That'd be awesome.
Yeah.
All right. So
Unless you want it to be a random thing.
that is true.
Like when that thing was on at the museum there, and it was like by Yoko Ono. The whole exhibit was by Yoko Ono, and it was like the worst thing you've ever seen. And one of them was a phone in glass.
Oh, shit.
And if the phone rang while you were there, you were supposed to pick the glass thing off and answer the phone, and it would be actually Yoko Ono on the other end.
Could not be less interested in picking that phone.
I know, right? Nobody
Oh my
did.
God. Hello? Like, I'd rather it be like Julian Lennon.
Not even Yoko would have picked the phone up.
Hello there. It's me. Julian Lennon. It's
me.
I sound like my dad.
On purpose.
So anyways, yeah, reach out to us, guys. Miscastcommentary.com. You'll see that it's pretty much all new in there. We've got new ways of finding our episodes, and the look is different, and we're very happy with it. Go check out.
By we, he means himself.
We did a great job. Just forget it. We are always a collective.
Like the Borg.
This show doesn't exist without both of us, so it doesn't matter. Anything else doesn't matter. The
chicken or the egg, yo.
That being said, I'll happily replace you if you get my fucking way. No. So
Jack Black's still getting work.
There you go. That's true. Email us at podcast@miscastcommentary.com. Find us on Twitter at miscastpodcast or on Instagram at miscastcommentary. I'm at JK Finley on Twitter and Instagram. Todd's at miscasttodd. These are all ways we can be reached, folks. Phone numbers, emails, social media. Join our Facebook page. Go like our Facebook page, join our Facebook group, what have you. We're on Tumblr. We are fucking everywhere.
Grindr, Tumblr, all of them.
I should get us on Grindr.
We should have a Grindr account.
Yes.
We should play the Grindr every now and then.
You'll just find all my other Grindr
chat
accounts.
roulette.
You're just going to find out that Grindr is just me a bunch of times.
It's just you.
Why are none of you ever online when I'm online? I'm going to switch accounts, see if maybe they're just trying to block me. No, now nobody's online. It's a vicious
It's a tough
circle,
game
guys.
out there, man.
Yeah. Good news. I got two hands, unlike any Skywalkers. Oh.
Hi-oh.
Hello.
Wouldn't it be awful if you had two penises and only one hand?
Oh, I would just I have a system already in place for that.
Already?
This may or may not be connected to my Grindr accounts, but I would just one finger between, it's like a W you create, and then you close it as best you can, and then just furiously.
It's almost like a gang symbol.
It is. It looks.
You're jerking off a gang symbol.
Yeah. It's like the number 3 with an antenna on top, and that antenna's looking for buttholes. That's the best or worst thing I've ever said. You decide. All right,
That's a good place to end it off, Michelle.
All right, guys, we're going to be back next week with, oh my God, we're back with mini episodes.
Woo!
Well, coming
Wow.
attractions episodes. They have real names.
Wow.
But check us out. We're going to be talking pop culture again and stuff like that. It's going to be wonderful. We will see you guys next week. We love you.
Later.
This has been Miscast Commentary with your hosts, Joe Finley and Todd Murray. Executive producer, Joe Finley. Be sure to like, comment, and subscribe to the podcast wherever you listen. Visit www.miscastcommentary.com for all news related to the podcast. Miscast Commentary is a Miscast Media production.